back in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Brick Something News. A little earlier than usual, but also a little late. If you can wrap your head around that concept, congrats. Sorry, yes, we are supposed to start around 3 o'clock a little earlier today because. And so we're now starting a little bit later. I was teasing. Jay's not here to defend himself, so I'm going to throw JGDL under the bus and just say that I'm channeling his approach. Anyways, that said, we do have on the schedule today 3 awesome guests. We've got to my left, but like it's weird, Sebastian Gómez, who's been here before, along with Quip, who've both been here before. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Quip, doing well. Happy to be
all
here.
Good, dude. All good.
So these guys were here in August, and we got to hang out, and we've been talking about doing it again, and you're like, okay, let's do it again. And then I think Sebastian was like, hey, let's also get Brandon on. Let's talk about that awesome Mondo turtle. I was like, hell yes, because I'd mentioned to them that I got to meet Brandon at WonderCon. I was about to say MondoCon. God, my brain. At WonderCon in March. And I asked him to be on, and we just haven't been able to coordinate. So this was perfect. That said, he's not here, but he will be here shortly at some point. Right, Brandon?
He's coming. He's coming.
But he'll be here. In the meantime, we've got stuff to talk about because the plan today is, as folks know who watch the show regularly, I'm not doing a whole lot of like I don't know how to call it, like sort of nostalgic buying, in the sense that like I don't collect G.I. Joe Classified, even though I love G.I. Joe. I don't collect Black Series or the Vintage Collection, even though Star Wars is like one of my most like beloved franchises still to this day. Stop hating sequel trilogy, people. And the Acolyte, come on, fight me. Let's see. And then God, what a Motu is the one thing I think that I've been picking up. I've somehow, guys, especially you two, managed to avoid all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so far. Well,
really,
I haven't got a single actual turtle, not an actual turtle. I have a Rage Toys Splinter and a Bebop on pre-order, but no actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So
which Bebop?
The Rage Toys one.
Okay.
The one that, I think he's got a couple different looks and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a whole kit that would make
So I mean, part of that is, and we'll get to it, but part of it for me, like my personal way of doing toys at this time, because there's no wrong way to do toys, is like I'm kind of interested in balancing, I think, the idea of the nostalgia and the new, but I definitely embrace and look for the new. So I'm actually looking at even new IP, as we move forward, as I'm older than these guys, I think. Yeah, I'm older than both of these guys. Yep. But I've come to terms with my mortality. I'm old.
You're so far from it, dude. You'll probably outlive me. You probably sleep more than me anyways. So,
but the point is, like, hey, you know what? The young people need new stuff. So give me the AWOCs, give me the Mythic Legions, the Cosmic Legions, and even the new, like, big properties like Adventure Time and not that it's super huge, but Over the Garden Wall and that kind of stuff that I want to see toys available for, so young folks can get it. So that's where I'm coming from. But I am kind of curious for both of you. How are you sort of balancing, or maybe not balancing, the idea of like nostalgia versus the new when it comes to your collecting and designing in this guy's case?
So you go first, Sebastian.
Yeah. I do have I have some turtles. Not I have a couple of Super 7, and then I don't have NECA Turtles. I only have the Bebop, the Vacation one, because those are fun.
Yeah.
And then,
wait, that's the
like, is it a 2-pack?
Yeah,
No.
it's the NECA 2-pack.
you got like Hawaiian shirts or something.
Hawaiian
Yeah.
shirts, a little beanie hat that's like a duck photo.
They're
Like,
really
they have
good.
cameras.
They're
Yeah,
really
they're
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think my collecting started from nostalgia, and I think it's still there.
Mhm.
But I do appreciate new stuff. I was gonna ask you, Brick, when you mentioned that Splinter, not Splinter.
Yeah, the Master.
You probably bought it because it was just a cool figure. You didn't buy it because it was not Splinter, right?
I got it. It's a mix because it's a balance. On the one hand, it's a cool figure. I wanted to kind of check out what then Fury and then they changed their name to Rage Toys was doing.
Yeah.
I love the sculpt. I kind of love to check that stuff out. But also, it's like I'm actively looking to represent some of this stuff on my shelf. But I like that it kind of took a different twist with it. Like
Right.
it went more and leaned into kind of like the feudal Japan kind of thing. So.
Right. No. So I answered your question with a question. But yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to do as well. I think I have collected enough of the stuff that I want to see be 1-to-1. And I think I am venturing more on the concept-y stuff, like the artists putting their own spin on it kind of thing. And a lot of the market has been third party for that, and maybe it's starting to lean more into the license stuff is saying like, hey, maybe we could do this stuff and get away with it. So
yeah, that's really interesting. That's a good point. That is a trend, and we'll circle back to it. But Quip, how about you?
So like you, I don't know, maybe it is just something with collecting for some time.
We old. It's fine.
Yeah, for the longest time, I was very similar to like modern collectors. Like I know Johnny Nostalgia gets some guff that he collects just more of the modern lines, and so I was deep into the NECA cartoon turtles, so much so that I legitimately thought, okay, I think I'm coming near to the end of my cartoon collecting. The only ones that I wanted that giant Krang, which I doubt we're ever going to get it from NECA at this point. And we may. And then I also I was doing all of the Bebop and Rocksteady variants, right? So just like Sebastian just mentioned, Vacation ones, top notch, loved them. Those were fantastic. Was really looking forward to the next one. And then the Granny and Baby Bebop, they just didn't resonate with me. So I was like, okay, cool. This is my off ramp from the Bebop and Rocksteady variants. So I was getting all those together to get ready to sell them. And then the Mondo turtle stuff started circulating of here's a concept drawing. Here's a grayscale Donatello. Here's a full color Donatello. And at that point, I was like, okay, cool. I thought I was done. I thought I was nearing the end of my turtle completion or collecting. But I decided, okay, we're going to get rid of all this stuff. We're going to sell it off. And these 4 turtles with their concepts, I think they are going to be my collection's like pinnacle turtles. Like I've matured from the I need every single variant of all the turtles that come out at this point. And now I'm into the more, okay, let me look for the single iteration that that best captures my nostalgia. So I'm still nostalgic for the turtles. I think I would feel odd if I didn't have Ninja Turtles in my collection somewhere. That's definitely a cornerstone of my collecting for nostalgia. But reverse of that, so that's a newer concept. I'm excited about the Mondo Turtles, but then I've also this particular year, in light of everything that was going on with tariffs, I decided throughout the majority of the year to pivot from modern collecting to retro collecting of, okay, well, if the modern stuff is getting way up there in price too, because one of the allure of the modern collecting was, okay, it's more affordable, it's cheaper, but now stuff is like steadily increasing in price to the point to where I was thinking, well, I might as well go back to the retro stuff. And one line that I have been collecting this particular year that nothing has been able to scratch that itch, or none of the makers have gone deep enough into the line in order for me to even entertain the idea of start collecting: Toxic Crusaders. So I've now got 8 out of 10. I've ordered all 9 out of 10 of the retro Toxic Crusaders. So 9th one, I just bought Toxie like yesterday. And he's on the way, should be delivered sometime next week. But I started collecting Toxic Crusaders because I was excited about the Super 7 line.
Yeah.
They had teased Wave 2 that it was going to be cartoon accurate, because that was kind of the driving force for my collecting previously, where the neckline, beautiful, straight out of the cartoon, right? Loved it. And what else was I collecting? I was collecting the X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man, the animated series. So everything was supposed to be kind of somewhat cell shaded so that there was cohesion.
Stuff, right?
Yeah, the legend stuff. Yeah, exactly. And so there was cohesion with my collection. And then I even had where are they? They're down there now. The Funko Pops for the cereal monsters from like just cartoons associated with cereal. So it was more nostalgic feeling. Saturday morning cartoons was the vibe I was going for with my collection and with my display. But backing out of Marvel Legends, just because they never would finish a team all in one style. Like I had the VHS and I was like, okay, cool. We're only 3 away. We just need Beast, Gambit, and Rogue in that VHS style. Never got around to it. Just like,
dude, I had the orange quarterbacks for a while. You know the orange ones?
Yeah. The old Toy Biz one. Yeah.
So I had those, and I had those carded, because that Legends was more of a carded thing for me. And I thought they weren't gonna finish it, and then they started releasing other stuff. I think they did the VHS, and then they started releasing orange stuff again, and I'm just like, what's going on here? So I used to have that similar to you. I used to have retro carded Spidey that I ended up opening because my son was like, just every day.
Fun. It's the rhythm. You got to figure out the rhythm for Legends, because I think people are like, oh man, when are they going to finish? But it's Marvel Legends, which is tied to Marvel Comics. Like again, we established I'm old, but even as a kid, I remember at the time, what is this, like 80, maybe 86 or something, getting what eventually becomes the Marvel Universe Handbook, I think. But they were individual issues, and we go month to month buying those things. And, I was a relatively new comic collector. I was like, 6 or 7. I was buying my lines, which were like Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor at the time and stuff. But then I get these Marvel Universe things, and it would open my mind to what the Marvel Universe was and all these characters. I say that because it's Marvel Legends. Like I hate to break it to you, but if anyone's expecting them to finish a line, it's just kind of, the Marvel Universe is endless. It does variants and iterations, and it like keeps going. And so they are in this funny place where they have to somehow appease like classic comics, and that's not even classic comic fans who love the 70s and 80s, and then comic fans who love specifically the 90s, and then comic fans who love the 90s, as well as the MCU, and then all the animated. Like there's a bunch of people to please, so they start dipping in, and then they can't like forget about everybody else, because then they're it's a tough one. That's it. Sorry, Quip, you were rounding
that's
around
fair.
The corner.
That's all fair. I know, though, from a finishing up a team, so I get it. They're going to do different iterations of figures, but even figures that are on the same team, particularly to the dismay of mint and box collectors, if they start a certain style, as Sebastian was saying, he was doing the orange cards
in the packaging.
Cool. In the packaging, you start to switch up the packaging, and you go from here's this team on an orange card, except for these 2 key members, which are in a black box. And we might throw in this windowless packaging for a little while, just because of the initiative they were running, right? Or they killed the X-Men, the animated series VHS windowless packaging, because that started before all the deal with Disney and X-97 coming back out. So cool, that's fine. As soon as they said, this line's dead, X-97 with season 2 coming out, might be the first time where it's feasible that they're going to finish an entire X-Men team on the same carding, same backing, and everything. I could see that happening. But I'm not as big a fan of the animation style in X-97. Love the story, love the show, but I was collecting for the X-Men, the animated series, like the original, like the throwback, right? Sunspot, awesome.
Love them.
That's from the second wave?
Yeah.
I had those. I had all of those too. Well, I didn't have Rogue because Rogue was like 200 on
Super hard
eBay,
to find,
and now she's cheap, which is funny.
Great looking figure, but
I ended up selling the lot just because I moved on from it. Nothing against the show or anything, but they look nice on card. I don't have any carded stuff anymore.
Anywho, well. So it's just funny to me because, well, I did start out by saying, it's balancing the idea or wondering about nostalgia versus new stuff versus striking a balance. And, we've all said this before in our attempt to not be so negative, but also like embrace the reality of being an adult, wise collector, that there really is no right or wrong way to collect, right? We all come at it from a different angle, but it is funny when you're like, they changed the packaging on me. That's wrong. But I get it.
Old man yelling at a cloud.
Yes. Yeah. Let's speak to some other old folks who happen to be joining us today. No offense, but hey, misery loves company. So join me, old people. We got Blake from Recon Rage. What's going on? He was hanging out with me last weekend. It's cool. We embrace the years. Charlie Square, thanks for hanging out with us today. Appreciate you for coming in. Hey, this guy's here, as well as this guy dropping the Filipino. What's up? Mabuhay, which is long live, folks. Que viva. Larry's Geeky World, what's going on, man? Awesome to see this guy's trip to Legion's Con pay off. Man, he brought home a lot of stuff. What's up, E McNeil? Good to see you. Rowdy Riles is here. Howdy. Yeehaw. Let's see. Chris Babinski. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Look at that dope creature.
I love that thumbnail.
That is cool creature.
Nolan, aka Nostrum82. What's going on, Nolan? Thank you for joining us. This guy, what's up, KJ? Good to see you, man. Great show Friday night. As always, go check out the many shows on the Highly Posable channel. But KJ makes me laugh, man. That dude's hilarious. Amateur Out. What's up, Sath? Good to see you. 24.7. Are we ever gonna fix this whole name thing? Because it's just not as cute. It was cool when people had their names.
I'm sure there's some setting you could fix.
Well, I tried. I looked into it, but apparently it's not a setting, and it's also rolling out slowly. So on some streams it says it, and so they're I don't know.
Okay.
What's up, Grumps? Batforce Grumps is in the house. Hello, and of course this guy, man, love this guy. What's up, Bob Morales? Always saying hello to everybody. Love that about you. Allison, Retro Toy Princess. Hello. Check out Allison earlier today was live streaming. They were doing, what were they doing? DC stuff today. It was awesome. Sorry, couldn't hang out too long, Allison. Had to drop off the kids to D&D. I showed you guys the pics.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yes. And I'm kind of in holiday mode because I don't have school this week. So I was like, I'm going to hang out for a while. So I got to sit in for like 45 minutes and see where they were at and trying to get through this awesome dungeon where there's apparently bats came flying out of a dwarven toilet, centuries old dwarven toilets.
That's
Ray Paz. Yeah. What's up, Ray? Good to see you. Josh Brown Toys is here. Not to be confused with Josh Brown Customs. It's all the same Josh Brown. Don't get it twisted. And Yusk 8200. What's going on, Yusk? I hope you're not someone that I'm familiar with. I'm not remembering the name, but hello and welcome again with a dope thumbnail, man. Cool stuff. This guy, Justin Mohan, what's going on, man? Good to see you. SpongeBob. That's a property I never got into. JMac77, aka JMac774. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Vinny Todd 8464. See? 1976 over here. Or is it? Oh yeah, this is John Brown, one of my favorite persons in history. And all right. Okay, so welcome to all the folks joining us. Any word on Brandon?
I
mean, we're gonna start talking about his stuff.
I think we're good to start maybe showing some stuff, and then he'll come.
Yeah, we'll go. Perfect timing, because Adam's like, "What's with this start time?" We started early because we now I'm not feel like I'm putting him on the spot.
No,
but let's just say one of our guests wanted to start early, and so here we are. just today, 3:45 every Sunday. I hope your show went well, Adam. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it, because we've been talking about the nostalgic versus new, and folks in the chat, I'm curious, what drives your collecting? Are you a nostalgic collector and you're like, I won't buy it unless I knew it from my childhood? Are you open to new stuff at all? Or how do you feel about when people are trying to balance stuff? Like, meaning they'll take an old thing, like, I don't know, just grabbing stuff, Masters of the Universe, but then give us new Etheria. Or like, we know that, sorry, this is a custom head sheet, but what is this guy? Flying Fists. But Masterverse kind of, again, took their unique take with these dope pauldrons that like have nods to the Eternia playset. Like, this is my jam. Like, give me the old stuff that I'm familiar with, but like, I remember the old stuff. I was there the first time. I'm open to something new.
Is that's the Millie Bobby Brown portrait?
Yeah.
Oh, is that one the Millie Bobby Brown one?
It looks a little bit like her.
Okay.
Dude.
You think that's Millie Bobby Brown? There's an actor whose name I'm forgetting.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if it'll ring a bell, because I remember when.
But I can see the Millie Bobby Brown. I don't. My stuff won't focus well. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I guess I could see it. Okay.
Logitech, you fail me.
I can't think of what other actors. Oh, it kind of looks like the blonde from Glee to me, who was one of the cheerleaders.
Oh, it 100%. All the single ladies. The one that was in the single ladies video. Yeah. That's not the best head sculpt. I'm waiting for someone to make a better one. Anyway, Ray Paz is feeling it though. My thing is this. So Ray's saying, I'm too interested in toys, I need to chill. The reality is, like, I'm absolutely a fan of a bunch of stuff, like, bunch of properties. Like, I couldn't resist the Sunspot. But you know what I'm a fan of even more than X-Men or Star Wars or any of these things? I'm a fan of toys, like, period. Like, I'm just intrigued by the format and all that stuff. So I think it's really nice when folks are making new toys, hitting us with something familiar, and then trying to still do, I don't know, kind of, again, find that balance to appeal to everyone. That said, it's an art form, and it takes a special kind of artist. Like this guy. There he is. What's up, Brandon?
Thank you guys for being patient with me, man. I'm on the West Coast time. I'm so sorry. I thought 6 meant my 6, not your guys' 6. So,
I'm good.
I'm embarrassed.
I'm up here in San Francisco, so I'm on the West Coast too, and I have to deal with that all the time. Like, oh, it's this, whatever. Welcome to the channel, dude. I'm sorry. You were like expecting to be starting like 3 hours from now?
Oh, right. Late, right around dinner time, cooking.
I think we vamped pretty well.
Oh, thank you guys for having me on. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I'm glad that, I was telling these guys when they're like, hey, how about Brandon? I was like, yeah, I put out an open invite. We got to talk real quickly at WonderCon. You came to the AWOC table. And yeah, I just haven't been able to work it out. So I'm glad this worked out, because we especially want to talk about, we're about to jump into talking about something you worked on recently that's kind of made a big splash, that I think is kind of doing a great job of striking that balance with nostalgia, but then pushing things forward. Awesome, and that's your Donatello, man. When I say I know it's a team effort.
It takes an army of people to bring that to life. But yeah, thank you.
Let me go ahead and bring that up. But actually, while I do that, would you mind kind of giving us? Actually, why don't I hold off on changing the thing? Why don't you tell folks? So if you're not familiar, this is Brandon Gash, who's working with a bunch of different, has worked with a bunch of different toy companies, but specifically, we were about to talk about his work on the 1/6 Mondo Donatello. But I would love to know, in general, like, how did you get into toys? How did you, what is your sort of like, before you became an person creating stuff, have you always been like a toy collector, a fan of like nerdy stuff? What's your deal?
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, you really want my life story? Here it goes. Like, just it's gonna be word vomit for a little bit, so just
go for it.
But I've always been into art ever since I was born. Literally, my parents and grandparents knew, like, my hands just needed to create something. And my grandparents, they had a catering business when I was really, just getting young, get my hands on anything, even dough to make rolls for dinner. I would just start making stuff, you know, out of the dough. And they were like, hey, that kind of looks like the bat symbol, or that looks like, you know, something. It might be a worm or something, but he put, you know, an eye or faces on it. So they really encouraged my artistic abilities young. And my dad, he worked for Blick Art Materials and would sometimes have stuff fall off the truck that would make its way back to me. Nice. And I played with everything from clay to pastels, pencils, everything. Just kind of dumped my creativity into whatever I could put my hands on. But really, at a very, very young age, I accidentally saw RoboCop way too young. And it shocked me. Like, it just kind of like took something, you know, that kind of had to be told this isn't real. So that my dad, he had to, you know, instead of getting in trouble with my mom, you know, he was like, hey, look, that was all fake. I'm going to show you Starlog, you know, all these things, Fangoria, you know, you take you to the library and be like, this is all fake. People make these effects. So if you're asking me how I made my way into toys, really was by way of learning special effects at a really young age. And so I learned, you know, like, hey, these people are in, you know, the workshops sculpting the Ninja Turtles. They're over here making RoboCop, you know, out of fiberglass and parts and rubber. And so all of that really was what I wanted to do from age probably 5 till, man, probably 25.
Context
so
is
young
king.
When you saw RoboCop.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Context is king. Can I ask how old you are? If you're a little shy about it, I was born in
39th birthday will be here in December.
Okay.
So yeah,
86.
I'm old, man. I'm an old geezer. You know, you don't see the gray in my beard.
See, this is what happens. You missed the intro. I was born in 76. So I think we got 10, 11 years. Yeah. So yeah, you were real little when you saw RoboCop. I checked online. I was like, I must have been about 12.
87. Yeah, 87 is when I was born.
Okay.
And I think I waddled into there probably age 3 or something, but it affected me. So it was like, you know,
well, only
from
because
there,
you said things like Fangoria and Starlog, and these are things that I think for folks who are younger than both you and I are probably not as familiar. But those things were like huge to nerds back in the day. Which is before internet. We probably, I don't know about you, but parents would go shopping, and both my brother and I would park next to the you know, magazine stand, but in the grocery store, and just flip through this stuff. So you were looking at movie magic kind of stuff, and that's what
movie magic.
And
there actually was a show called Movie Magic on Discovery Channel when I was a kid. Like every Sunday would pop on either after church or before church. And so that was like, man, I just want to be in that world of creating miniatures or creatures and stuff like that. Like, even I told my parents, like, I want to be the Black Rick Baker one day.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
Just pop on and do special effects for Michael Jackson, or, you know, all that stuff just really affected me. And so by the time, let's say, like, I get into college, things were already going digital by then. So it's like sculpting really wasn't traditional. Everything was done on the computer. So even with special effects, and people would ask me, they're like, why wouldn't you take your computer skills and get into like video games or, you know, stuff like that? It's like, well, I like monsters. I want to like work on movies and make props and spaceships and creatures and stuff like that. It just made sense for me. That's what I like. You know, I love video games and stuff like that, but it's like, man, I'd love to go to a theater with my popcorn, and it's like after the whole list of people are credited, maybe, you know, my name's like right there. And I lived in Illinois at the time. There's not really industry for special effects out there. Really, it's like a lot of architectural stuff out of college, which is cool. You know, I've done CAD design and stuff like that numerous jobs ago, but it just wasn't my bag. And so when I bit up the nerve to move from Illinois to California, I was like, man, I'm going to hit the ground running. I just want to go to a studio and just like be in the back in the workshop, get my hands dirty. And luckily I was lucky enough to work on some gigs, and I bumped into a guy who was like, man, this gig's hard. I can't wait to get back to my regular job. I was like, what's better than this, you know? And he's like, oh, I work for Jada Toys. I make toys. I'm like, wait a minute, you take this skill set and you plug it into toys. And right then it's like a light bulb, just magical moment where I'm like, wait, whoa, I'm like, I got these skills in my toolbox. Maybe I, you know, truck it over here. It just makes sense.
What year was that?
Oh man.
Like, what was Jada doing at that time? Were they already in action figures?
Oh, they weren't in figures. They weren't even in figures.
This was
like
the cars.
2017.
Got it.
Die-cast cars.
Yeah, still die-cast cars, but little figures. I was like, maybe I could sculpt little Vin Diesel next to little Charger, you know, like maybe I could fit in that way. And so I was like, man, let me try to hop into this dream job. It sounds like a dream, you know. I'm absorbed by collecting myself. So I'm like, man, let me see where I can fit. I didn't know anybody in the industry, like nobody. So really it was just like me building up those skills in a portfolio of some of my 3D work. Mainly at the time was like statues that I was doing for myself and for friends, making my own pop figures of friends for gifts. And like I said, learning different skills for, you know, making special effects for movies and stuff. I learned how to 3D print and do all that stuff myself. So really all that stuff kind of lent its way into figures somehow, which is great. So it's like when you can print your own action figure after you learn articulation, it's like you really kind of get used to the business, how these things work. And luckily, man, even though it's kind of sad, the pandemic did happen. It's like that's when I got my most busiest and like most booked work through David Vonner, because he had seen a lot of my stuff. I bugged him enough to be like, hey, I'm out here, help a brother out type of thing. And even like during that time, he's like, yeah, cool. I did gigs for like other people before meeting him and actually working with him. Did stuff for Walmart, Lennard Toys and stuff like that. But it wasn't hitting. It just was like, yeah, freelance, boom, project to project.
And
yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, so this was like sculpting, I'm assuming. Like you go in and do the models and got it. So they give you like a 2D rendering. Like, can you give us a model? Got it. Okay, cool.
That's it. And luckily I was just hungry. I just, sure, give me anything. Even if it's on a loose napkin, I'll turn it into 3D somehow. Just hungry. Still hungry.
Dude, you mentioned being
starving.
You mentioned being hungry. I think you're always hungry, right? Even with the stuff you're doing now. Yeah.
I might be a little chunky, but I'm starving, man. I'm starving.
That's cool. So what were the so you said you did a bunch of different things. When did you kind of like I guess feel like, okay, I'm now doing action figures? Was there a particular company that you started doing regular work for? Were you just sort of a contractor at a bunch of different places? What was your career path, I guess?
In a lot of different places in the beginning, but then what was it, like 2022 is when I got hired on full time at Super 7.
At Super 7, yeah. Okay.
And from there it just was like, even then I had to like pinch myself a lot of times that there was this many licenses to work on, and that I was working on them, sculpting them, like Thundercats and Turtles and just everything, even Universal Monsters as of recently. And just all the dream properties that I grew up with were really at arm's length that I could sculpt on. And one of my proudest ones was Biggie, like the Ultimates.
Oh,
Biggie.
Yeah.
Just like, oh man, I grew up with Biggie. Like, who didn't? And it's like an honor for not only just a person of color to work on a figure for somebody so big in our community, but it's like, it's high praise, man. It's just something that didn't feel like work when I got done.
That's awesome.
And same thing with Donnie. It didn't feel like work to complete Donnie, because like I love the turtles. Like, I'm the biggest turtle geek you'll find, just man, dream come true.
Well, it's funny. So I'm here. Let me throw this up here. One, I've I'm a big Super 7 supporter in the big picture. Like, I mean, I moved up here to San Francisco in 1998, and I was graphic designer at the time looking for work. And some of the earliest people I talked to were involved with Super 7 because I was like, here's the thing. I thought I was going to be a design for magazines, and I was working in print. And then quickly I figured out digital stuff. But on that note, they've, on the conversation around nostalgia versus the new when it comes to sort of toys and toy collecting, man, they're all about that nostalgia. You mentioned all the different brands.
Bobby Digital.
But they hit, because you mentioned Biggie, and I love Biggie, but this figure right here, I think it's one of my favorite figures, actually. And because it does what the type of collecting that I'm into right now, which is it takes stuff that I'm really familiar with and puts them in this context of like, oh man, this guy could be chilling on Eternia, right? And I've always loved this, man. that Sienkiewicz cover, like Bill Sienkiewicz is one of my favorite comic book artists, period. But when that came out when I was in college, yes, I'm old. When this came out and I found out that he was going to get Sienkiewicz to do the cover, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then we got to see the art, and it's perfect, man. It's like, it's RZA as Bobby Digital, but in this like sci-fi get up. And the fact that was turned into a figure, there are very few companies that would even attempt to try and turn this into a thing for people to buy. And, you know, yeah, say what folks will about Super 7, but I really appreciated that about them. And you know, they've gotten, it's hard to balance things, folks. I can't help it not have that toy maker back behind the scenes part of my brain. But it's hard to balance
for a second.
Oh, that's okay. We'll get him here hopefully soon. But on our conversation with nostalgia, it's kind of hard to think that like when would I ever think that I'd get a Biggie Smalls or a RZA figure, period. And then not just in the sort of like, you know, premium collectible 5 points of articulation, little tiny guy, but like a highly detailed, not quite highly articulated, 112-ish action figure that can stand next to my other figs that I love. And then on top of that, they're like, we're going to take the obscure RZA cover where he's like a full-on sci-fi action-ish hero. And I'm like, dude, this is it. So easily one of my favorite figures. I love a lot of weird Super 7 stuff. I love the worst stuff. But if they could, you know, like this and the Cliff Burton with the like dragon fists or whatever. But anyway, hopefully we'll get Brandon back. But this guy has done all sorts of stuff. And, you know, he was talking about his work at Super 7. But he's worked at Super 7. He's been doing stuff at Mondo, but he's worked on some of like the coolest stuff when it comes to the IP, the nostalgic stuff, as well as like those fun, weird, obscure things. Like who knew that we would get a RZA?
Yeah, the thing that really highlighted Brandon for me, that made me like a fan of the artist, is so Bobby Digital and the Biggie got my attention. And then when he did the Cowboys of Moo Mesa right there, if you go back up, the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, those are kind of the concepts there. That's such a sort of obscure 90s property, you know, writing on the back of the anthropomorphic Ninja Turtles, like Street Sharks, whole 9 yards, that like you rarely saw it. I mean, yeah, you had the retro figures, but this is kind of a deeper cut for collectors. There he is. He's back.
All right, God, my damn computer. My bad.
All good.
It happens. No worries. So we
were just creeping on your Instagram for a minute.
No, go for it. Keep away, please.
So we were just talking about how just what really got you on my radar and made me legitimately a fan of your sculpts and the art that you're doing. And it's kind of like, you know how collectors, so to go back to the nostalgia collecting that Brick was talking about of what drives collecting, I feel like me personally, I'm not necessarily a fan of a team. You know, sometimes people can be like, oh, I'm all NECA, I'm only Super 7, I'm only this, only that company. I feel like you're, like a star player kind of bouncing around where I'm like, okay, I'm a fan of Brandon Gash. So whatever franchise he's working for right now, that's the jersey I'm wearing.
Well, that's awesome, and that really does touch my heart because I'm the same way when I read like the underneath of a NECA figure or find out like who sculpted that. It's like, man, I'm gonna follow them because I love what they're doing. And certain things, yeah, even though I might have just the assignment to just, sculpt the figure, I still inject a lot of me into the work. So there might be a little bit of nods of like, even with Mumesa, like there's a little bit of me in all of those sculpts. So if you're a fan of me or a fan of this, you'll see it throughout the work for sure.
One of my favorite things, which I was actually struggling to kind of scroll through, but it's way down there. I was looking between your account and Toymigos was Kernatum. You took the concept of a Chamba concept where he took Ernie and kind of turned him. Well, first he turned him into like naked Ernie, but then they threw in Adam as Krang into his belly, and sort of Ernie becomes the Krang body. That thing I think is brilliant, the way you translated that to 3D, and I'm still waiting on it. But that was one of the things where I was like, see, like this is where we could have all sorts of really cool fun and celebrate like what toys I think should be. Just like ridiculously fun, off the wall concepts, and like probably something else. Obviously, no one's going to make a Kernatum figure per se, but there's a lot of life in that sculpt, even though it's like built on Chamba's art. Your work turning into 3D was dope. So,
well, I think even Sebastian, you could probably count for this as like, you'll see something in 2D that just strikes you, that like it screams at you that it needs to be 3D, right? Yeah. Where it's like, oh man, I could see the angles. I could almost see this already as a figure. And even before I jumped into toys, like I gave myself weekend challenges outside of just, just doing this to sharpen my blade. But it's like, hey, I want to make Punisher from War Journal, Jim Lee style. Let me do that. Sure. It's like, okay, give myself a weekend, maybe roll it out, do a rough sculpt, then the next weekend get a little bit more into it. And then by the third weekend, I'm already printing it on my printer, seeing it in the real world. And then you have those like eureka moments where it's like, ah, man, this feels great. So you just keep on doing it. I got so many like back burner projects where it's like, this is for me. After I do Donnie, I'm going to do something for me. And even the Jim Lee turtles that I made, a lot of that was just for me. Like I never had all 4 turtles. Why the hell not?
Right.
I'm going to make all 4 goddamn turtles.
Man, that's another one that people were just like, man, drooling and wanting so badly. And you were able to hit on that. And I know Sebastian's all about that too. You guys are like, there's things that you are passionate about that you're putting out there because hey, it's a challenge, it's a design challenge, or I just would love to see this. And then pretty quickly you activate a bunch of these folks who are like, yes, like where is that thing? Because at the end of the day, these companies can't do everything.
Yeah, because you see it with Brewer too. It's like those real Ghostbusters were just like in him. He needed to get that out. And it's like, thank God that he did, because now we have the best real Ghostbuster figures ever made. But also it's like, that's the standard that we should all be at, right? It's like, if it's not there, build it, make it, put it out there in the world. So, and even when, go ahead.
No, when you said now we're getting the best ones, and that's the standard we should hit. Like that's my thing around. There's a bunch of different ways to sort of balance the idea of the nostalgic and the new. And I will say again, there's no wrong way to collect. But for me, like I know folks are really into, for example, Masters of the Universe Origins. Like I get it. And I think it's really cool actually as a line. And I grabbed a bunch of them. But when they announced Masterverse, that was when like, okay, I think I could actually be interested in committing to seeing new designs, like in a new size. Like those Origins ones really lean heavily into even the format, right? Sure, there's new articulation in the pop and swap, but it's very similar in terms of like the scale and everything. Exactly. So the idea of like adding some kind of new element or trying their best to maybe give us the best version, which that's one of those things with Origins. I will say, like, yeah, I think I was there for the originals. I think Origins are giving us much cooler things than we necessarily saw in the vintage, except for He-Man's face. Now, so when I agree with you, like those real Ghostbusters, man, those are amazing. Like the fact that we're getting those, and I feel like that scratches an itch for people who are like, I love the old toys, but wouldn't it be cool if they looked exactly like the show, like they did in my brain? So
exactly.
Before we get too far, let's on that note, let's circle back to some of the chat. In terms of what Quip was naming, the fact that like we can be fans of the people behind the scenes who are making stuff. Josh is saying that's a cool thing about collecting. Now we know and can interact with the people that make these things, making us fans of them more so than the company. 100%, which is very 21st century, given the internet, given social media versus, the old school, like you have 5 networks and you just listen to these 5 networks. Now we can drill down and we can bring these people, to the forefront and have them on channels like this one or on shows and the cool things that, see all the cool things that they're doing. And you pointed out Quip NECA naming that. And I love that. And I love that indie toys, right? It gives, it makes it so much more possible to bring those names up front. Cause I get why a Hasbro and a Mattel don't do it. There's a bunch of business reasons not to do it, but I'm really glad that NECA does, and I'm glad that indies are picking up on that as well. So
and even on the topic of what was just shared, I know the concept of seeing it and believing it. And the longer that I've had the opportunity to stream with different people, to hop on with you, Brick, and to co-host Geek.Dad.Life, and chatting with people behind the scenes, talking with, Attack Peter or Alex or Dole or Brandon or Sebastian, right? That's also inspiring, not just me as somebody who is dusting off the creative aspect this year, getting a little more into it. I know I've talked with Sebastian about just getting back into it, sculpting, whole 9 yards, but also from the perspective of collecting and then being able to share with my daughter. So like the whole Donnie drop was like Happy Donnie Day in the house, because my daughter was all about it. Like it's funny. So even collecting toys, like my daughter and my wife, I'm sure you may have all experienced this, where you show them something, you're just excited, and they're like, yeah, okay, it's another toy. But this particular one, they were like, oh, that's really rad. So much so that I had already started selling off stuff to save money for this. And when my wife saw it, she's like, do you want me to buy that for you for Christmas? So she did. This is my Christmas present. A pre-order of the Donnie was my Christmas present this year. It's early. But my daughter even knew. And then once Sebastian kind of put this together and Brick had reached out, I was like, hey, guess what? This is the sculptor. This is Brandon Gash.
Oh, no.
And oh no, he's dropping off.
It's okay. His ears are burning.
But my daughter was excited to see that. Hey, I'm able to talk with the sculptor, somebody who was part of the creative process of creating Donnie. And then same thing though goes for you, Sebastian, of us just going from chatting in the Discord to seeing how much you've accomplished so far and what you're still doing, all the awesome things. And thinking about how like toy collecting, like, yes, toy collecting has always been, no, it's not, they're not just toys. These are pieces of art. These are sculpture. This is painting. That just like there are people who would be fans of or are proud of having like a Monet on the wall, or I collect this fan, I'm a fan of Escher, whomever, that now that not only are we getting names on the packaging, but in this social media environment and streaming environment where you're able to really get a little more like of what you shared with your backstory, Brandon, and Sebastian sharing his backstory of how he started on some things and sharing the creative process. Now there is just a little more interaction, which personalizes even more, giving people even more opportunity to become a big fan of the artists and collect the art that has manifested itself as toys from you artists.
Yeah, I mean, just look at those Toy Talks. Like they have leveled up week after week. And last week's, or whenever it was, when was it? Thursday, Friday? That happened, the last one.
Yeah,
that was an hour 45. Yeah, that hour 45 could have easily been like on a Blu-ray as like behind the scenes stuff. It was just
awesome.
beautiful.
It was,
you know what I mean?
I was out of body half of that toy talk.
Yeah,
because
I'm sure you blacked out a couple of times. You were like, "What?"
Yeah, it was just amazing. It was insane.
It's cool. It's too. Like being able to go to like a lecture at a college or something and hear from these folks that we just back in the day. It just took a little more, right? Yeah, you'd look at that little tiny article in Fangoria or Starlog, right? If you knew where to look, but now it's in our faces. Like E. McNeil saying here, really appreciate how artists forward this new era of toy collecting has become, getting to know the talented folks who are behind transforming these ideas into objects.
Absolutely.
And it just makes sense. I think about like all the different things that I've been into as a kid, even like films, right? You speaking of RoboCop, you go and you watch it and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then maybe a couple years later, you realize, oh, that's who was involved in it. And that was the actor. And you start to put these things together, right? Same with comic books. At first, be looking at the comics, dope story, Cyclops, whatever. And then eventually, like other names become a part of your habit. Bill Sienkiewicz, Walt Simmons, like Art Adams. And you start to go behind the scenes. So this stuff is cool. This is your post on Donnie Day, essentially the pre-order day that Donnie was released. I love that you shout out everybody that was involved. Would you mind just going through this? Because I know folks don't necessarily know the Instagram handles, but
well, let me fold it into this, because as you were talking about getting a chance to hear from the artist and actually get to know their names, get their tags so you can follow them. Like when I grew up, I loved DVD special features.
Yes.
So it's like, getting the behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings, or all the like the new episodes of Star Wars would come out. I'm like, how did they do that? I know it's blue screen. Oh shoot, I'm surprised. It was actual practical effect here. It's like you get shocked by some of the knowledge that you get from a special feature. And I think with Toy Talk, I mean, you just get such a download of information about what goes on behind the scenes, who's behind the scenes doing it, and then just a step further, like the exploded view. It's like I geek out every time, even if I'm not working on it. It's like I love to see it. I love to see how the cookies were made. How this came together, and even before getting the opportunity to talk about it, it's like I was a fan of Hector and Attack Peter, and the Kacherix, and even everybody involved with this masterpiece, which is Donnie. It's like I almost don't feel like I worked on it, because it's like beyond me. It's for you guys. It literally was a service that I'm providing for you guys to see how well we can make this product, make this figure, because it just goes beyond just an action figure to me. It felt like I'm working on the next movie, but it just happens to be the figure, and it is full circle for me, because it's like I started my track before toys, wanting to work in movies. Now this is kind of like a blockbuster in itself, and it's just kind of crazy to me. So I still pinch myself about being involved. I'll tell you who is involved. Art directed by Hector RC and Peter. They came up with the whole concept, like a whole Bible, pretty much a movie script on how these figures and things were going to play out, which is just up my alley. And they hired or are working with the Kacherix brothers, who are legends in this realm of TMNT collectibles and sculptures. And me, little old me, I help push the articulation and details. And I actually have some slides if you want to go after we get through all the names here of some of the behind the scenes stuff that's kind of cool. Of course, paints by Mark Bristow.
Yeah,
I got to give a shout out to my buddy Aaron White, who worked really closely with me and the factories to make sure everything was on point. Like without him, really, you don't get some of the things that man, just need to be hammered out at the micro level with the factory, so that things aren't like welded shut at the wrist, or like, oh, this is a loose joint, Super 7, sorry. Like you need somebody on the factory side working really closely to make this thing a bummer, when you get it in hand. So he's definitely shout out to him. And of course, Raul and all his masterwork with the photography. Like when those shots were coming in, like I'd say out of all the 85 images that I saw, like at least 80 of those should be posters around my place. Like every single one was just gorgeous and like realized and cinematic. Like I said, from the jump, this all felt so cinematic. Even from the beginning, seeing the Kacherik's designs, I think I was looking at Toy Chiz's page or his live stream from what was it, New York Comic-Con, like last year. Just watching it live, just seeing what was coming out. And once I saw that image, I was like, oh man, those are the turtles I want. Like those are the turtles I would want to work on or need right now. And
at that time, you were not signed on to work on it? Is that?
I wasn't signed up. No, that could have went
awesome.
to Tommy.
That is so cool.
That could have gone to Alex. That could have gone to May. They're all rock stars. Seriously, like I inspired every single day working with those guys. But I was calling dibs left and right.
Sure.
For work on this project. Like they got annoyed by me. I was like, hey, who's working on Donnie? Oh, I don't know. We got to look at the schedule. Who's working on Donnie though? Like dibs. Give me Donnie all day. And they're like, oh well, okay. Let's see after Ripster. Let's see what your schedule looks like. And I don't even know what I was working on. I think I was in between either Ripster or Jaws or Mantis Alien, and then finally it was like, okay, you ready? Here's the files. Let's see them. Boom, and it's like, man. So it was a dream come true, just to work on basic articulation at first, but then leveling it up every single week to just be like, oh man, this is like we're building something special. I felt that way just from the jump. It was like, man, I couldn't slack on this at all. There's no way.
Dude, I think the cool thing about this is that your work gets elevated every step of the process, right? So like obviously I'm hopeful that you knew you were killing it in the sculpt level. And then I mean you pretty much know that the paint is going to be amazing in the photography. But you get to see your own work in a different way each stage. So even you that are super involved are still surprised.
Oh yeah.
By and that's the cool part, because it's like when you make a movie, right? You were mentioning making props and wanting to make a movie. You're hopeful that the stuff that you're making, first of all, is in frame, right? Because you can make it a prop that's completely back there or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you don't know how the movie's going to be edited or whatever, or colored, or the music and stuff. You just hope that it comes out good. Granted, there's a smaller team with these things than there is for a movie crew, but I think that's really cool because, not to interject myself into this, but I have experienced a little bit of that as well. A little bit of that surprise coming from this process. Granted, I'm very green to it. I'm very new to it. But knowing that you're a very small part of the team and that everyone above you is just going to make it better and better, that's a really cool thing to experience. And it's, I don't think it's a thing that's everywhere, right? I don't think it's a given.
No.
So I appreciate that you've always been very grateful about it, and I think that I think the whole team, actually, everyone in this post is always talking about how grateful they are to be in the position they're in, and I feel like they know that they need to experience the now, because we don't know how long this ride is going to go, right? But I think it's really cool.
On that note, I just want to bring this up. It's sort of on the heels of this notion of like the artist forward kind of thing, and 100%. This is where Chris Babinski is. 100%. This is where I'm at with collecting. I like following and supporting real artists, especially when AI slop is being shoved down everyone's throat. And I think now more than ever, there is this. Hopefully, people are realizing the importance of like learning who the artists are behind these things, because particularly obviously the large corporations who are making moves and embracing AI, I get how it's in their best interest to basically not pay people and not credit people, which is what I was alluding to them. In many ways, folks are just sort of replaceable, right? But to a smaller company, it's a little bit of a different deal. And also in this day and age where I think smaller companies are smart enough to sort of pivot and embrace the idea that like, hey, we should celebrate these folks because like these folks are key to doing these things. And I also say this about Mondo. Mondo's always been like artist forward. That's essentially their niche, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even like when doing the whole Alamo Draft House thing, it's all about like this kind of niche artisanal experience where you get to really embrace the movie. And while you're there, go check out the shop where you can buy these awesome like artist posters and vinyl. So they're very much like it's very art housey, very like treating these things that treating pop culture as it should be, I think, as sort of like no different than say fine art and that we should appreciate it and know about it. So shout out to them that they're continuing it with the action figures. Shout out to Hector and to Attack Peter for what they do in terms of really trying to represent that concept. And I do want to say, let's get to this figure because you said it, they came up with the concept behind this. And this is one thing that I really love. This is what I mean by the balance of the nostalgia and the new. Every 1/6 line, I would argue, that Mondo has done, they have tried to find this sort of balance of like, hey, we know we've got, for example, Motu. That's our license. So we're going to make really cool 1/6 versions of Masters of the Universe characters. But we're also going to put in there the opportunity for you to get the classic looks, but also here's our take on it. And it's done in a very creative way where they're like, they have an idea for a story and a concept behind why these new things that they're working into, whether it's Scareglow's horse or, all the different new armor for Battle Cat, for example. I know there's storytelling opportunities in that, right? So with this one in particular, to hear they created the concept, they have the Bible for it. Can you run that down for folks who might not be familiar with what this 1/6 Ninja Turtles line is trying to do?
Yeah, so basically, man, I mean, when they first told me everything that was going to go into this new Mondo-verse version of the Ninja Turtles, I was like, oh my God, this is music to my ears. So basically, it's like the first two movies are solid classics to me. The third one, sure. But this is like in between that second and maybe third. This is kind of like their interpretation of what a third movie or expansion of what could happen after Super Shredder's down in the bay and, barely holding on with one hand coming out of the concrete or wood, shrapnel, all that stuff. And so basically, where do they go from there? Like, what do the turtles do? What do the villains do? If Krang was to enter this movie universe, like, what does that look like? What does Shredder look like after that? What do the guys look like after that? And literally, I felt that with Hector and Peter, they were like, oh man, we have the opportunity to like really Jim Henson Studios this up, right? Really get down to the nitty gritty, the grittiness of those movies and tell something different. Like, let's get into that world and merge the cartoons and the whimsy of the toys into that world and the comics into that world and expand on it with this Mondoverse version of the Turtles. And even from jump, after seeing the Kacherik's first design, and I could show you guys that right now.
Ooh. You want to just share? You're gonna
Let me share like the journey to get to where we're at right here. If that's
sure.
Can I do that?
Yeah, I would absolutely love that, man. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
But these are great. While you're pulling that up, I know those are coming up. Quip, you wanna real quickly while we're waiting for those things to show up here in StreamYard?
Yeah, I've commented on IG. I will say that. So there have been a couple of different comments, but this is the first Donatello that has glasses that the glasses make me want the turtle more. We joked about being old curmudgeons of, why are they always giving Donnie glasses? But these glasses, one, they actually look like some grade school pictures that I've got, right? It was almost like looking in a mirror. And I was actually wondering, because you said there's a little bit of yourself.
Oh, dude, I had glasses.
in these sculpts, and you had glasses, so I didn't know
I
if
got glasses
you used...
right now. I had glasses growing up. Yeah, I was a nerd.
And so, as a child born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, wearing glasses, a black child, you were probably compared, like myself, to a very popular character who donned our screens every Friday evening. And we were thankful for him being on screen every Friday evening. Were you regularly compared to Steve Urkel?
Oh, Urkel was my middle name. And it either that or yeah, I mean, and
kids
the
in the
funny
80s
thing
and
about
90s were whack.
It would come from even relatives. They'd be like, "Oh, it's Urkel. Urkel's coming in." And it's like, come on, man. It's like, but yeah, it's a badge of honor to be a Blurred in this space and to work on man, like one of the legendary nerds, which is Donnie, because you know, good Lord, like this just coming out the gate with Donnie is such a stroke of genius, because it's like the story that is being built here with Mondo is that Donnie's going to have a hand in the rest of the turtles, like building their gadgets, building their weapons, all their, like, for me as somebody who nerds out seeing that stuff in a movie or even in a comic, like knowing that this is going to come into figure form is next level. Like even down to the Mouser droids, that's next level. And that's the cool thing about this opportunity that Mondo's taken, is like they're able to make their own lore, just like how they did with Scareglow and Scaremaris. Like you're able to make your own lore that connects to the fan base in such an intimate way, where it's like you could have just released the figure, you could have just released a whole bunch of hands and accessories that make sense, but it's like, nah, they went the extra mile to be like, no, that glove tells a story, right? To control the mouse. So if you display it that way, it makes it seem like he's controlling both. Dude, it's badass. I just love
awesome.
it.
Dude, if you ever go ahead, Quip.
Oh no! So what I was gonna ask is
real quick. Ease with you guys. He's right there with you.
Awesome. Yeah, all
solidarity.
Blurreds, we get it. We get it. So Blurreds unite, stand up. But from the perspective of an OG TMNT fan, what I really appreciate about this line and what's just been shared so far is that, as I mentioned about the glasses, one of my least favorite storylines for Leo was like the whole Dark Leo aspect. I never really was a fan. And then I saw the sculpture like from New York Comic-Con of, I really like that Leo. And so this is, I'm bringing it full circle to the Blurred. One of my least favorite things that from a design perspective is done with Raph is the do-rag or the wave cap. But I have faith because of your involvement that you're gonna do it justice, as far as if it appears.
If it even happens, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. But
this line can go to Tommy Hodges tomorrow if I say the wrong thing tonight. I don't know. It could go to Alex. It could go to May, man. So I'm like, just I cross my fingers and call dibs and just hope and pray I can complete the rest of the line with Mondo, because you never know. But I know in my heart, like, I was born to do this. I swear to you. Yeah. Like I just want to keep on working on it, do better and better with every single turtle. So I give you my promise on that one.
I am looking forward to the wave check, Raph.
Okay, but I wanted to add,
he might have cornrows, he might have a little bit of something off the side. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Sebastian, what you got?
So obviously, I think Quip and I just fell in love with this turtle as soon as it got shared. We just on the Discord for GDL, we just talk about it all the time, and we don't care. We just go for it because why not? But funny enough, like I've always been a fan of retro tech. Like I love just the chunkiness of it all, just like all the mechanical stuff. And if you go to my website at some point, which is my full name 3d.com, I do a lot of hard surface modeling outside of the sculpting that I do for characters. And there is like a mini TV there. There is an old school cassette tape, the one from Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a power glove that I modeled as well. So all of these little trinkets, they were just like speaking to me, because I've done all these things. I have gotten all the reference. I have freaked out about the roughness of like the buttons, like, oh, you know, how rough would this be after a kid played with them, whatever. So having the turtle, my favorite turtle, is one thing. Having him full of stuff that I like techie stuff, it's another thing. And then there's the layer of you guys taking 90s stuff, run-of-the-mill stuff from the 90s, and making him like, okay, well, he's taking tech that was there, but he's amplifying it, right? So he's doing his own thing. So, and that kind of goes a little bit with what you were saying, Brick. It's like adding to the nostalgia, right?
Yep.
Like this is banking on us loving Donatello, but it's not just assuming that we're gonna buy it because we love Donatello. I mean, Peter says it all the time. There's plenty of turtle stuff out there. This needed to have an extra something, and for the nerdy guys, there's enough. For the techie guys, there's enough, and for the, you know, and for people that have both, you just freak out about it. And it's just cool how you can find things to relate to. And being Brandon, I'm sure you get surprised every time with the things that people relate with each figure, right? Like maybe you'll get messages of people saying like, hey, this thing hit me in this way. And you'll be like, oh, it's super cool. I never thought about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or like these. What I also love about this idea is it's, again, it's new in that conceptually you've kind of created this story framework of like, hey, what if we continued and excuse me, take Krang, come into the thing and making it totally choking.
Oh no,
but
you're good.
I'm gonna die. No,
oh no, man.
No, working that into like a 90s film. I'm looking at this.
Yeah, you want to take a break, dude?
Yes, but I just want to say this Playmate stuff right here. Love it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, so I'll step in for you for a second, Brick.
Oh, okay.
So, well, I'm sorry, Brandon. Do you have the stuff pulled up that you said?
No, I have the stuff pulled up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's see if you can start sharing
let's
that.
See. Can you guys see what I'm sharing?
Not yet. No, I don't know if you.
Yeah, I see it here. I know.
Oh, Brick, you got added to the stage. Okay.
Remove it.
Okay.
Here
Boom. So this was the first concept sheet of Donnie from the Kacheriks. And when I first saw this in full, I was like, I get it, right? It's like you see the fanny packs, you see the kind of modded, you know, knee pads and elbow pads and all the pouches and the glasses and all this stuff. I'm like, wow, they're gonna make a figure out of this, like for reals. And so I was on board from day one, just like, and plus you get the option to kind of dressing them down, take the fanny pack off, take the power glove off, you know, really make this like its own thing, but still it's fresh but familiar, you know. It's like it still feels like this came from the studio and they're trying to make a movie. You know, this is like the concept art that you would get before you see the movie in full. So it's like that whole approach never was lost on me because I saw this and it already felt cinematic. And so going further into it, all the gadgets and all the attention to detail that the Kacheriks already did with their concepts. And they actually do these concepts already in 3D and then illustrate over it. So it's already kind of fully realized even before I start, you know, getting my hands on the sculpt. So they already had like pre-sculpted work for me to jump off on. And so even I said it on Toy Talk, it's like getting handed a Ferrari that's already good to go. It's already like pretty much ready to hit the track, but then adding extra. And so that extra was the articulation and details and really just basically getting this thing ready for factory so that it doesn't, you know, fall off and break in a million pieces. So really that was
real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, on that note, if you go back to the last one, so sure. Did they kind of come with the idea of like, hey, let's mix in all this stuff, or was this like, I guess after a conversation around the brief with Hector and Attack Peter?
Yeah, with Hector and Peter, they wrote up like a Bible and gave it to the Kacheriks. So basically, it was like they wanted to see all this stuff. And I don't know what the Bible looks like, to be honest, like in verbiage or anything like that. But what came back was, I think, more than what they expected and then some. and they were just like, okay, now we can really like flesh this out the way that we already had in our minds, but even further. So it's like when they told me that the vision was pretty much like this Mondo verse is basically like making a movie, I was like, yeah, I'm totally game, because it's basically what it is. It's like if you take the suits of those turtles and just put articulation to it, this is the figure, basically. So all of this, yeah, go ahead.
But then also, sorry, I was just gonna say, well, to my point about the Playmates stuff, did they also say, okay, yeah, we've got the story frame, but this is still a love letter to like pretty much everything Turtles. It seems like they're taking bits and pieces from everything and working it into this frame. So so it was their idea to like work in things like the weapons from Playmates, or
all
very
of that.
Cool.
All of that came because it all is Turtles, right? It's like it's not just the movies, it is the video games, you know. It's man, even the soundtrack. Like if anybody, I was listening to the soundtrack while sculpting because it's just like that soundtrack is such a banger, so full of like house beats and everything that I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm sculpting and like I'm already seeing this thing like in my mind. So the soundtrack, the comics, the movies, the cartoons, everything. All the toys is there.
I think what you guys brought in was the texture. And you mentioned the soundtrack. That soundtrack has texture. Those movies have texture, right? And we've gotten so many toys that are amazing, but maybe we're a little bit light on the texture, right? The storytelling, the grittiness of it all. I feel like that's where we're all, that texture we're responding to, because this would go real well with that soundtrack, right? And hopefully, I don't know, maybe they'll release the vinyl again. Who knows?
I would love that. Hey,
so you mentioned the Bible that they put together for this, and part of me, just church kid growing up, is thinking like when they're giving notes, when Hector or Attack Peter were giving notes, like, okay, turn with me to the book of Donatello, chapter 3, verse whatever. And saying, see, this is where you incorporate it. Let's go to the good book. I'm interested in whether or not, and you might not know this, but just kind of putting it out into the ether, is that something that we might be able to get? Because we mentioned the vinyl, but just kind of the concept art, like some sort of book, like people would buy this, like what you're sharing right now. And of course, it's going to be once you're further in the line, you don't want to reveal anything too early, right?
Right.
Just
you don't want to give away all
putting it out there. So that's one. But then two, if you go forward one more, because I did want to talk about the different portraits that you had provided. I was going to comment on these when Brick was having a coughing fit. I'm glad you're okay, Brick. But the fact that just as we were talking about bringing in things from all the different iterations of the Turtles, right? Where the grimacing face that y'all landed on, clearly that's a callback to the Playmates. You've kind of got one face where the eyebrows a little raised. That kind of reads like IDW Comics Turtles to me. You've got the smiling, like kind of goofy face with the pupils. That is 100% right out of like Henson's workshop. And so the fact that you've pulled in all these different concepts or iterations of Turtles and kind of smashed them together. You mentioned a little bit the video game, Injustice 2, the Turtles DLC, like that is my jam. And so even the fact that you can load them up or unload them just like you could a character in the Injustice 2 video game, all of those reasons, the fact that there are so many intersections between all the different iterations of the Turtles is why this line is my peak Ninja Turtles collection, right? As I'm maturing in my collecting and realizing I don't have a TARDIS to display my collection in, right? Shelf space danger is a real thing. So now I'm kind of being more quality over quantity. I mean, these are firing, this line is firing on all cylinders, and it's hitting and touching all the good spots where it's like, yes, like this is the pinnacle of turtle toy design.
Yeah. And you're right. Like, I think everybody involved loves the Turtles so much, and you have your favorite turtle, or you just like Turtles in general, that it all was injected into these like sculpts. Like even when we would have meetings, it's like Alex would say, you know what, I really like that about the Turtles. And then it's like, let's change it up. Let's see what we have there. Or Tommy would say something, May would say something. Great Aaron Connolly, who's working on the art for the packaging. And shout out to Aaron and Jordan Christensen, who are working on the packaging. Oh man, nice. Look, you're rocking the shirt. Seriously, like
there you go. That was the first thing I bought when I got to Comic-Con.
I am telling you, like, y'all might not be ready for the packaging. I'm serious.
Oh,
like,
definitely not. Yeah,
you're gonna want to display that separately from the turtles or all together. Just it's gonna be insane. Seriously. So when I see how much love from everybody on the team is going into the figure, that just juices me up to do a better job at releasing the best I can do. And like I said, we all kind of jam off of each other in a way that I've worked with many other teams, but nothing is as special as the Mondo team, because it's like everybody's creative juices are on 150 out the gate. And that's just the level that everybody works at. And so getting to work on this, getting to work on Leo and Shredder, oh man, blockbuster after blockbuster. You guys, it's crazy.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you an artist question? Do you ever like finish a piece and like surprise yourself? Because I know you're a humble guy, which is but do you ever surprise yourself or like give yourself a pat in the back a little bit? Like, damn, this really came out. Maybe I
didn't pat myself on the back until I saw Mark's paint on everything, and even then, I was like, "Damn, who fucking made this thing?" Just like it was almost out of body again, because it's like he did with the paint that only I could dream of, And I've done like colored renders and stuff, which I'll show you here in a second. But damn, those paints. The paints just sold it for me, and man, it's insane.
Yeah, no, well, you should definitely pat yourself on the back, dude.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh man,
you and everybody else
a little bit, but
there you go. Got it here first. That's an exclusive.
But here's the thing: it's like the whole team was firing on all cylinders. That I knew he was going to do a great job. It's just he went above that.
Yeah,
for me, and even he told me, I was like, this was fun but challenging. I was like, challenging for you? You paint like masterpieces out the gate all the time, but it was challenging for him too, to find a real balance between everything that we love about the Turtles, from all those different things I mentioned, like comics, movies, toys, and just filtering it into this one figure. And it's like, oh man, dude, he just nailed it.
I mean, even
first love it.
From the video that Pixel Den showed, he showed the three, the Lino, He-Man, and Donnie in the middle, and they all look great. But Donnie stands out as he's just so cohesive, dude. Like everything about him, it's like, I don't know. It almost looks like it just came into being, right? Like it almost looks like, I don't know. I know
like
a whole
everything
team...
is. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what you're saying, everything is cohesive, right? It doesn't look like anything was an afterthought. It doesn't look like anything was just, okay, let's give the video game fans something and we'll just throw this on here, throw this. Like nothing is clunky about kind of the coalescing of all those different design elements. It just works together beautifully.
And here we see like a first sculpt that the Kacheris put together. Before I even got in there and started getting the articulation and seeing what we could do with this thing, it was already at a level 10. So really kudos to the Kacheris for doing what they do best, man. It's just building great sculpts and realizing something that we all want, man. It's like when I first saw this, I just fell in love with it. But I knew that the challenge was like, okay, this is great on its own, but we need to get it to an even higher level, because that's what's going to be expected of all our fans. Like for you guys to want and support this line, it has to be perfect. So it was like you're saying, give yourself a pat on the back. I was shitting bricks and being a little bit nervous every single week working on this, because I just knew the gravity of it needed to be exceptional, even next to Motu and you know, the Mondoverse, Thundercats. Like this has to stand up next to those guys. And Raul, our photographer, he even released images of all those guys and like the Holy Trinity together. Yep. And it looks fantastic. It just blew me away. Like that. Yeah, that's
it's just
come
crazy.
on, man.
I also appreciate that that's Donnie there and not Leo. I'm
sure.
I'm a Donnie guy.
Yeah,
so.
Donnie the leader.
That's true. He's elevated here with Lion-O and He-Man. But no, I just got to say, you know, they're I think all three of these. I hear what you're saying. And I definitely think Donnie stands out, Sebastian. But just to me, the shot was perfect when I saw these.
Yeah.
It does embrace exactly what I've been saying. Like it's a balance. So yes, that is He-Man and is pretty much standard looking armor, but I've never seen He-Man done like that exactly. And then Lion-O especially. My big gripe, I've loved Thundercat since I was a kid, but my big gripe growing up and looking back is that he just looks like a dude, like a human. But this really kind of like up that sort of feline thing. That said, just shout out to Mondo and the art direction and the concepting really, because it's about taking something we're familiar with, but then really like bringing it into what we can do with sort of the modern tech and the modern design and sensibility. So I dig it. I've always said this about a lot of modern toys. This is what was happening in my brain when I was playing with the old LJN or the old Mattel or the old Playmates. Like I swear, in my brain, this is how cool things were, and I love that that's been their basic approach. Like let's make it as cool as we've remembered it conceptually. So
exactly.
Sorry, we can bring your thing back up. I just removed
let me actually share this. Like I got this broken down into stages. So stage 1 was getting the concept art and concept sculpt.
That was cool, and thank you for bringing those and sharing those too. By the way,
not a problem at all.
It's really cool.
And I think for me, I love to see that stuff anyway. So you do get a little bit exclusive when you talk to me because I was eating, breathing, sleeping the sewers for months working on all these guys. So it's like it's good to talk to you guys and other fans and people in the industry about what really goes on into these figures, because there is a lot.
Where'd you go? Hold on, where'd you go?
Oh, am I back? You guys got me?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh,
I know what it is. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just waiting for those presentations to pop up. When they do, I'll bring them up.
Was it my fault?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
It's on.
Let me see. Where did my? Oh, okay. Yeah, let me share some more images with you guys. So
please go for it.
Second stage was really figuring out the articulation and how we could push it and how we could, basically jumping off of their sculpt, but also since I have a little bit of knowledge about articulation now, we want double joints, double knees, studying stuff that I did even for Super 7 with their 2003 turtles. I worked on those and just upgraded the articulation that they had. But it's like, well, yeah, I like those and love those turtles too. I was working on my own Jim Lees during that time, which I was like, I love the 2003s, but I want mine grittier and 90s version, steroids up and all that stuff too. So let me do my Jim Lee turtles and get that just out of my system. So when I got the opportunity to work on the Kacherix Mondo version, I was like, man, this is pretty much everything I want and more. So let's really give it as much articulation as we possibly can with the turtle, especially at 1/6 scale. And so a lot of things, and you got to give it up to Hector and Pete and Tommy Hodges also, because he would come back and be like, hey, I see that we could probably like open up more space around the thighs or like right there at the crotch, because you want him to high kick. It's like, yeah, I do. You need him to, be in this pose or maybe kneel and all that. I'm like, yeah, man, like let's push it all the way to the limit. Yeah. So with this, you'll see like this is like an early first pass on the articulation and where it was going without all the pieces on them. And I was just like, man, just jamming out. listening to the Turtle soundtrack, really getting involved on the sewer level about like going under the shell and giving this thing absolutely everything it needed. And I think, yep, got an explodey view there.
There you go.
Where really I didn't figure out, well, I had in mind the eye swap kind of early because that kind of was the approach to help mark out. Was I knew to paint those eyes, you need them kind of separated from the top piece and bottom piece
get
of
in
the head.
there.
Yeah, to get in there, because man, I paint in my free time models and stuff like that. So I just was trying to make his life a little bit easier, I'll be honest. But it kind of evolved from having pupils and not having pupils. And the challenge was just basically making that mechanism work underneath the actual mask of the turtles.
Hey, Brandon, I don't want to interrupt, but do you want to lower a little bit? Because the banner is blocking
the
banner's
blocking it. There we
my
go.
bad. There you go. You get all that in.
Yeah.
And so really finding different ways of making this different than any other turtle release was a great challenge, especially that eye swap mechanism, because there was a debate between like just keeping them all white or having pupils. It's like either or, because it's going to cost us this much or whatever. And it's like, damn, but I really like both. And there was like pushback from multiple people on our team to be like, yeah, the whites are awesome, but I'll drop a little pupil in there, man. Like I'd like to put enhancing pupil on my turtle and see how that looks. And it just stuck. It was some of these options are based on what would we collect as turtle fans on the team. And it's like I'd collect the hell out of a turtle that you could swap eyes. That's just awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So after this,
can I ask a articulation question?
Sure.
Is there like a library of kind of different types of joints that you use, like to bring into ZBrush, like the actual, like the actual meshes, or do you guys go like custom each time you kind of want to pull something new?
Dude, custom almost every single time, because there's not like a library,
right?
Or there wasn't yet until I got done kind of making this for like, oh, these are the turtle joints for 1/6. Like basically everything had to be customized and done from the ground up to make this thing work. Like even to the knees and elbows and dude, just everything had to be customized. Because it's like once you're in this, like what works for articulation, just after the 1,000 hours that you've done this. But building this, it had to be done from scratch, all of it.
Are the eyes going to be movable?
No, I did fight for that, but no, sorry, guys. It would have been cool, but I think it stands on its own. Just having the straight on shots and the different expressions, and man, I could show you how that breaks down too, because it's not just the eyes that have to be removable for factory and stuff. Like the teeth have to come out. Everything has to be like you said, Sebastian. Your question. Everything is done from scratch. It has to be.
Well, and the reason why I bring it up is because the sculpts that I've made, I never really messed too much with articulation, because I was honestly like, I don't know if I was afraid of it or I didn't have time, whatever. But I spoke to some people after New York Comic Con that are in the industry, and they mentioned like, dude, you're thinking too much about it. Like you keep saying these words like engineering left and right, and that is true. But Morse articulation, just start cutting it and we'll tell you if it works or not. And if you take enough shots at it, it'll probably work. And if not, you work with somebody that will make it work. Right. Yeah. And that kind of opened me up to like, I took the Mighty Duck and I cut him up and I gave him like import like articulation. Granted, that is not, no factory is going to be able to make that work. There is more work that needs to be but it's just the fact of just trying new stuff and being custom about it. To me, at least, it's like I lost a little bit of the fear of seeing those exploded views. I see them as a different thing now instead of just like overwhelming like I used to back in the day,
Sorry about any background
good. I think there's something to be said about, like, like you were alluding to earlier, it's collaborative, right? And then there are people who have a certain level of skill set and expertise. And so the notion of like, handle the sculpting, get it to where you want it to be, and then let somebody else, like you said, either on the factory side or is going to work on that, handle that. And then you can, I guess, go back and forth, right? And collaborate to get it, to tool it in, to get to exactly where you want it to be, I guess. It's a collaborative process rather than you trying to figure it out.
With that collaboration is, the sculptors, we are so involved, especially on the Mondo team, between me, May, Alex, and Tommy, we have to review those factory files once they've done what they're going to do to make it work in their molds and just work in production. And so it's like, I'm reviewing every single step of the way with Aaron, White, and Hector and Pete to make sure, what is sculpted is what you're going to get. And there were times where it's like, oh man, this is a part that is over decimated and it looks like chopped up, or like, where'd all the textures go? It's gone. And it's like, oh, well, the factory had to like dumb this down to make the molds. And it's like, no, don't dumb it down. No. I need to look like leather. Like, that's the way it should be. And it's like, okay, push back, drop those notes back to the factory. And the reason why I like getting into articulation, it might scare people or be intimidated, but I encourage you guys, if you guys are into this, to learn it, study it, embrace it, because you want to be in control of your art. And that's just another level of control that you're able to give to a company that might hire you to do everything from scratch, to be like, okay, listen, we need this thing to work, and it's like, oh, you can't, like, for me, like, I was so hungry before, and still it's like, I don't want to give them a reason not to give me another assignment. So it's like, hell yeah, I'll do the articulation. I'll do it all. Just give me another job. Give me another.
Just keep giving me burgers. Just keep feeding me
burgers, making me fat.
Did you have more of the stuff to be able to?
I sure did. Yeah. I'm sorry to keep on going.
And this is great.
Verbal diarrhea. So this was second stage before textures went on, and a lot was coming together. And there's still, like, it's such an evolution to making this to the final, that things got changed even from this point. But this was another, like, just pre-viz render I put together to share the team after kind of working the articulation, getting the balance right. And I just was like, man, let me slap some color on this. Let me see what this is like gonna taste like, So just kept on cooking with everything involved. As you could see, the straps were actually sculpted onto the figure at first, but now I'll show you a slide later. They actually slip on to the calves and shins, and it just feels better now. But these early passes, you could see where things got changed. Like even the bandage on the right thigh, that's not there. It was in concept, but then it's like, no, that just doesn't work. So as we were building and growing Donnie, things shifted, things changed, and for the better, I believe, because as you work with teams closely, you're just like, yeah, everybody's opinion. Yeah, you're right. Boom, let's change that. Let's make this a little bit better. Let's, you're right. This would feel good now, but after we see it a week from now, I'm like, no, you know what? Let's switch that up.
Are you able to scroll down a little bit again?
Sure.
Or zoom out?
My bad. I can't zoom out.
Maybe you can't. That's fine.
I guess if you zoom in and drag it down.
Yeah, that's it.
The banner's in the way. My bad, dudes.
No, you're good.
Stupid banners.
My bad, dudes.
No, you're good here.
Good. There we go.
Is it there?
It's all good now. He dropped the peripherals.
Yeah, so much for branding. But anyway, keep going.
Previous one. So those are
for Brandon.
The other ones. Yeah, man, it's all my fault, dude. So yeah, early renders and people. I mean, we would, like, you guys should see our meetings every Monday or Wednesday and Friday, where the creative team's like, hey, anybody have updates on their sculpts and any work to share? And it's like atom bombs are going off. Like,
dude, I feel like you should adopt me and do it like a take your kid to work day and just like bring me into one of those meetings.
I wish you guys could see it.
Dude, I promise I won't talk. I'll just sit in the back.
Just sit in the back. You might talk. You might say like, "Oh shit, that's damn," because it does happen. It happens all the time with me. I'll just cuss at my screen. So early passes of the heads, kind of getting the balance right with the faces. Even as you could see with the smiley head, the opinion came out early. It's like, yeah, no teeth together. We need that open mouth Donnie look, especially with the glasses. And even with some of the grimaces and the grit in the teeth, it's like, yeah, we need to pump that up, turn it up to 11, you know. And this was even an early pass. If you guys want to know how the textures got built into the figure, I was studying turtles. I was just geeking out on textures that are on real turtles, their skin, their chest, their necks, their back, their neck and their back, and putting that into this turtle, because it's like, okay, the inspiration is definitely movies, but should come from real life as well. So once you see this real close up, it's like even underneath the armpit, there's a different buildup of scales than on the shoulder or around the face. And I would turn these into their own custom ZBrush alphas so I can like really skin the figure. And I spend time just like on UV maps. If you know, with 3D art, you have to break these things down so they're in groups and they kind of lay flat in your program, so you can actually build on 3D those textures. So everything was UV mapped, and just brought in my own custom textures to put that onto Donnie. And
is that a first UV mapping? These kinds, is that a first for you that you had to UV map one of these figures?
No,
or no? Okay.
No, because I like doing it for funsies. Especially, I mean, if you're doing textures for like clothing and stuff like that for a figure, I did the same thing with Ripster. Like the jean texture on his jeans was UV mapped, so it's just bringing all the skills to bear for this figure and the other figures that are coming out.
Yeah, to people that don't know, this shows you how extra Brandon is when it comes to this work, because you can get away with just doing like a decimated, but you're doing the work that you would put towards a movie where you would render stuff like this. So that's cool.
Well, the other thing with this, I was about to say, is that it's 1/6 scale, so it is large, and there is going to be the reason to get real close and see sort of the texture of the skin, and it's like I'm much more likely to look at, like you said, under the armpit of one of these guys than I am with even one of the like 112 figures, and so when you're getting in there, you got to get that resolution. And then the other piece, because it's related to the conversation we're having about the factory, like. It is collaborative, but also if you possess a skill set and you've explored enough and understand enough of like what's possible, which sometimes mainly comes from experience, right? Having worked on things enough that how to sort of speak to the factories, like Adam is saying here, like kind of what's possible, what to push, what to ask for, in a way that if you're relatively new or don't have the experience, then it's hard to do that. In which case you are trusting on the collaborative aspect, and you're trusting that you're really working with other folks who can maybe hear you and give you good options. So it's cool stuff, man. I love that. Thank you for all the behind the scenes talk.
Oh, no problem.
I'm the same. Give me the director's cut.
Give me the director's
extra features.
I love all it. Oh, this is just more Naked Turtles.
Yeah.
Oh, more into where we went with. Oh no, the previous shots were when the textures were actually put on. So as you saw in the beginning, it's like what I was working with and where I wanted to go with the textures, and then now the textures are actually on.
Yeah.
And just kind of baked into the skin. Like I said, there's like a variation between like the shoulders and even inside the clavicles and near the neck and everything. There's wrinkles, I was so adamant with like wanting to put as much into this thing as possible and hoping and praying that the factories wouldn't just smooth this over. So this version, like even got pushed further after I test printed it out at home and saw like, okay, this probably could be an issue even at factory after like mold 3, like they're pulling this plastic out, it might get soft. So I had to push more texture onto this thing and just increase it a little bit more before it was final.
So but the final texture reads, the resolution of like the pores and stuff actually reads in the final pull. Yeah, that's cool.
Even on the knee, I mean, I studied my own knee and many old knees just to make sure that the wrinkles are there.
I was going to ask, actually, because I know on the Mondo Toy Talk, you were talking about gritting your teeth and like looking at that for the head sculpts. But for here, were you like, did you like oil yourself up, like full body mirror?
Oh, no, I didn't go all crazy and greasy. No.
Oil yourself up. It's like, we don't want Donnie with ashy knees. Okay.
Did you buy a shell? Did you buy a shell and just full cosplay?
I'm don't hold it to me, but if I was to cosplay, I got the files. I'm just saying, I could probably dress up as.
You could be a turtle boy for sure. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh man, no, it could happen. I got to lose some weight and building like a fan system, some kind of coolant system before I even go down that road. But as you can see, like, I went to the micro level with all the details being pushed on. It's just, as a sculptor, as an artist, I think when you're really just trying to maybe, go that extra step to say like, I didn't slack on this. Like, there's no slack. Like, I'll be honest, like, if I was done and these details weren't there, I'd probably want to, I'd probably think about it later, be like, I could have done it. So I just should do it. And that's always the approach for me working on these big projects, is like, oh yeah, this should go to that level, instead of just stopping just because like, oh, I'm tired. No. Go the extra mile. Put the grit and the lines in for the nails, because once it gets handed to Mark's going to do his own little thing too. And so I was really looking forward to his hands and the treatment of the hands, because I spent some hours on this, man. I was like, I wanted to feel that way. And even in the promo shots, I'm so glad that the textures and everything there held true. And so you guys are able to see that.
Hey, Brandon. Did you know if Mark used your poly paint at all for reference? Was that like discussed at all, or?
No, not really, because he had the freedom to really jam on this the way that he was going to jam on it. So I really wasn't in his ear. I think we all were simpatico at a certain point, because I was pulling from the movies too. I was pulling from comics and just pulling from my own love. So when he saw, once everybody saw these renders, they were like, damn.
Yeah.
But also once they saw his paints, they were like, damn. Because we're all on that level. We all want the best damn turtle figure in the world. So really, I think it was just like minds thinking alike. We all want the best turtle, period. So these renders, they just brought me joy, because sometimes if I'm sculpting, some other sculptors are different. They sculpt in just grayscale or no color at all. But I'll sculpt and add color just to know where I'm going. And also, if something's wrong, I'll just turn the poly paint off, knowing that I'm going to have to fix that part later. So without the poly paint, it just helps me out. And with the poly paint, it just helps me out too.
I'm glad Quip was thinking about this too. I was going to make a joke about the cheese and the pizza and a calcium deficiency, but we'll go with iron deficiency as well.
Okay.
There's something going on. No,
that's awesome. It's awesome texture. The nerd in me was like, oh, those are vertical ridges in the nails.
Man.
The paint process is always what trips me out about this, because I think I can wrap my head around the notion of like, we know that they're going to turn these 3D files into steel molds, and that something happens when every time you run plastic through it and pull it out. And so, but that's a physical process. What trips me out is that, you've got someone who paints the paint master, and then they send it out there and they just replicate it. And that process to me is amazing.
I would love to see that too. Like if we did a documentary on even one of these figures being made, I'd love to see it, like how it starts and then how it's finished. Because once Mark gets done with the paint master, it does go to factory and they have to recreate his masterwork. And even I can't do that shit, dude.
Right.
Like, how the hell do you do that?
Dude, if Nacelle and Mondo got together, they could make a bomb documentary.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if they got together in some capacity. Not saying.
That came out fun, but yes.
Well, it can be the Toys That Made Us Mondo edition, you know?
Yeah.
They need to upgrade to Meat Lovers Pizza to address that. Yes, it's not that the calcium isn't enough. I mean, see, this figure is amazing, and we could definitely and we have really spent so much time on it because there's so much to look at here. And so shout out to you guys, and congratulations to everybody who's going to be getting this, including Quip. And happy holidays to you. But like all of these little things that you're working in here are like, none of it feels sort of like an afterthought or a second thought. It just seems like it's all like you're spending the same amount of time and energy and detail to get these things right. And they're so good conceptually. Yeah,
awesome, for sure.
There you go. This is what, you're referring to in terms of taking this thing apart and looking.
I actually have an early pass on that. I have it ready to share for you right here.
Yep.
Yeah, as we were coming up with that mechanism.
See, and this is really where, so I'm an engineer. And this is where you were talking earlier about how you got into toys and how your love of sculpting, just art and special effects manifests itself as toys. These components here, the Splody view, I love. Just the engineer in me kind of jumps for joy. And so even just this little feat of toy engineering, of how you came up with the concept for the eye swaps, and then there's a mouthpiece. Okay, that's really interesting. I love this.
Oh, dude, come on.
Little horrific, but no, it is awesome.
It's cool.
You know what? For a split second, I did have a sculpt. If you guys remember in the movie when Donnie laughs really loud.
You had one where you could see the actor inside.
The eyes of the actor.
No.
I'm saying that's on the back burner. That's for me when I get the figure and I can print that face out, because that's my dream. That's my say what?
I said, if you do any test prints that might not pass your muster and you want to send them on my way, I will gladly take them.
All right, that's my favorite piece of cinema. So
put it out there.
Getting the mechanism and getting all this stuff absolutely right before it went to factory, because this isn't the same head, but just having it made and work. Like even my first print of this, I was like, yes, this works. This actually, will be good for Mark to paint and good for the factory to reproduce, because it's doable. All this fits together like a little sandwich. The mouth pops in, the eyes pop in, head connect, bam, we're off to the races, man. That was the pat on the back moment. Everything else, great. Just shitting bricks.
Can I also commend you on your sound effects? Those are fantastic.
Oh yeah, those pop.
Oh yeah. I'm a Foley artist on the side.
Oh man,
so this was your Kevin Garnett "anything is possible" moment, where you just stepped back and just yelled it. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I got it.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, man.
That's what happened. Okay. I love it, man. That figure is amazing. Is there anything else you want to sort of close out about this figure you want folks to think about or know about when it comes to this amazing Donnie?
Support this line so I can keep having fun. So you guys can keep seeing some awesome turtles.
Yeah.
Like this one, Leo coming up. My God. Like I had even more fun on this one. And once you guys see the full build out, it's gonna be bananas. And a lot went into even making this a little bit more than the original concept, because it kept evolving from everybody's love of different looks of Leo or different versions, where it's like, well, we can customize this a little bit more too. It's like, let's really spin this into the best next level of Leo, And I think there should be a shot of one of the shin guards
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, it's insane. All the little Easter eggs and details that are on just this. Yeah, Party Wagon.
Awesome.
Oh, dude,
Shout
I
out
was there at New York Comic Con. I
man.
didn't even see that.
Yeah, and I actually built that in Illustrator before like we made it into 3D because like I was just having fun, man. All this stuff was fun, like building a custom, license plate. But at first it was actually, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but at first it said Turtle Power, but then Tommy, he came up was like, well, it should like come out from the turtle, like the Party Wagon, like it should come from something that they're actually like driving in, and maybe that's a tease to something else down the line. Who knows? I'm like, damn it, that's perfect. That's just
okay.
Damn, let's go. Let's go.
I love that. Assuming that, well, never mind. I'm not going to do that.
What you're saying, if you ever make one, it's going to be missing a license plate.
Say what's that?
If
it's there, I mean, I'm not
it's going to
saying
be missing a license plate. Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
Depends.
Vehicles in the future, 1/6 scale vehicles would be awesome.
It would be.
But
you can put your kids in it.
They got to buy these things, man. They got to support the line.
If it does happen, Sebastian, then they could just include a different leg for Leo where the license plate isn't on there. I'm just saying.
No. Those shin guards are removed.
Yeah, like you were saying already for the other stuff.
Yeah, if you guys make one, I will put that one over there inside the Mondo one.
And also with all these custom pieces, if you go back to the sword, the Odashi sword, that's something that Donnie made for Leo. So it's like even the wrist or the handle is like a part of a Ninja Kawasaki bike. So it's like so it revs up.
Nice.
And I had a lot of design
it has a brake
into that. Yeah. I had a lot of design input into that because I'm like, he's cobbling together these parts for his brothers to fight the Foot. And the Foot now in this universe, instead of them being teenagers that smoke cigarettes, they're robots like the cartoons and the comics. Mm-hmm. And so they need to slice through these dudes like how Qui-Gon Jinn and Kenobi were in episode 1, just threw those droids like butter. And this Odashi sword is so badass. I want to print this live scale. And lights and everything with it because it's an awesome weapon, man.
That would make for an awesome background. If you continue to stream, of course, people are going to want to have you on. But if you just do the live 1-to-1 size of this and then Donnie's tech bow staff and whatever other mechanisms, just going to have on a weapon rack behind you, that would be awesome.
Man, you might see a different background the next time you talk to me. That's all I'm saying.
Very cool, very cool. And the shin guard on the other side, is that like a Casey Jones nod as well?
No, that was more like, so with Leo's story, it's like everybody's doubling down on their skill set. So Donnie's doubling down on his making abilities. There's like so much of him that is a little like Donnie is a nerd like me. So he makes everything. He's making everything. Volt batteries on them, screwdriver, wrench. And with Leo, he's doubling down on his mastery of every blade, every martial art, and scrabbling together even pieces of like samurai armor and pieces. He is really, really into his craft, which is kicking the ass of every foot soldier in the world. Like he is the master martial artist in the group of them. So you'll see him just fully loaded out with gear, kind of driven for that storyline, which is he's just so badass. I can't wait for you guys to see the soft goods that it goes with him, the other accessories that are straight nods to his ninja skills.
Okay.
Just nice. A lot. There's a lot going on here.
Love it. Right on, man. This is exciting, and Donnie's available for pre-order now. And
look out for Leo, and look out for Shredder. Shredder's coming next too.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, give us a little bit of time there.
I can't give you too much on Shredder.
If
give us time.
No, he meant time on his wallet. He needs to recover.
Oh man, yeah. You got time.
Yeah.
So right on, man. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing all your stuff. I was hoping to maybe spend a little bit of time looking at your other stuff, but Brandon, you got to come back at some other point because you got a lot of work that's like right up my alley, and this notion of balancing the nostalgia with the new, and as well as like, here, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. No, I can't. It would, but man, your concepts that you also do, I want to look at those, like your pan throw that you did for the 2011 stuff. It's cool stuff.
I have a ton of back burner projects, man. Like I had a whole
great
series. So yeah, definitely. Anytime you guys want to talk, hit me up.
Before you go, can I show you my little print? Because I'm
oh no!
Oh
yeah.
I just want to show it to Brandon.
I was going to say, well, I was about to talk about this next. I just wasn't sure what Brandon's schedule was. So, but if you want to bring that up, so we can check it out.
For all this. Oh, man.
And I just want to hit him up with this because I was able to get my print.
Look at it.
Oh, can you single your screen?
Yeah. Here,
nice.
Let's get you even bigger.
I have manual focus, so it's not gonna zoom in if I bring it closer.
But that's beautiful. Do the joints work? Or is it just simple?
I was talking to my mom yesterday. They don't, but because it was just a test print, but I really want to make them move. So obviously I would break it. And if you can tell, I went on a date with my wife and my cell phone popped off and I ran out of filament.
Yeah.
So I came back and just put a new spool, and thankfully it picked up right.
That's awesome.
But dude, it's weird because it feels light, but it feels heavy. And my son has been walking around with it all day.
I love that.
I feel like this unlocked the whole thing for me because everything kind of lived in the digital realm, and now it's like right here. And the next move is gonna be, because I can do multicolor, so the next move is gonna be buying the filament and printing it in those colors, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
It looks great.
Don't you have that eureka moment once you finally take the supports off the print and you finally have it in hand? You're just like, yes. You almost feel like Frankenstein, you know?
Yeah, dude. I took I put a picture on my Instagram of the support tree because this is not a resin printer, right? So the supports are more invasive. So it was kind of a pain in the butt, but then once they were gone, I was just like, "Oh, it's a thing," you know?
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's your thing. It's what you created, and it's awesome.
Like a reveal,
yeah. I can't wait.
Sanchez is ready to throw his money at you and whoever ends up producing some Mighty Ducks figures. This was I think a lot of people. It's like one of those things. You did this as well with what was it, with Powerline and the Goofy movie stuff, right? You just sort of hit a nerve with folks, and you capture people's attention, including that guy up there. Quip was all about when you posted that Powerline. He was like, "Yes, let's make it," and then fast forward to Mondo announcing it as a SWAT
I feel
thing.
like Quip and I are each other's hype man, hype beast, if you call it. But and the cool thing about this one, I think I mentioned it, is Turbo Pork is attached to it, right? He's an amazing artist that's worked with a bunch of people. He's done Super 7. He did the artwork for that van. Oh boy, I'm coming back. Hold on.
Come back. Where'd you go?
So let me explain
the packaging,
to you,
right?
Let me explain to you why this keeps happening today. So I think the reason why I'm super crispy is because it's at 6.2K right now, my camera.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's getting too hot. That's why it keeps shutting down. So next time I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit. That way I can stay in frame without. Yeah, but I hit him up. I sent him a DM because I don't know any better. And I'm like, hey dude, will you be interested in this? And he was, and I commissioned him because as you should. And he gave me a couple of concepts. We picked that one. But the cool thing about this was that the dude didn't drop off after he delivered. He stayed around giving me feedback all the way through. So I did a rough pass and I sent it to him just because I wanted to share. And he started giving me feedback. And we both came basically to this to make sure that everything worked well, that it was cohesive. And then why is it the composition? The composition was correct. But at some point, I got a voice memo from him on the DMs, and it sounded like there was kids around. So I'm like, are you picking up your kid while you're leaving me like notes on a voice memo? That is amazing. And he's also Spanish. So, well, I'm not Spanish. He's from Spain or from somewhere else. But yeah, it was great, dude. And we still talk.
That's awesome.
And I did another one. That didn't get as much play as this one, but I did it with Monkey Mouth, which is the bebop. And
yeah, that turned out awesome too.
It's funny because Mad Hatter brought it up during the stream, and he pulled out the bebop, and he's like, "Oh no, that's not Sebastian, that's somebody else." And then he says, "Sebastian, don't promote other people's art in your page. Just do you." I'm like, "That was me.
That's me."
But that was mine.
Yeah,
that's cool. So, that is awesome.
What's so fun to me about this is like it's a fully realized product.
Yeah,
like you're actually all the way ready to go into production with the design of the packaging, the sculpting is done, the articulation. And I also do the same thing. Like with my Jim Lee Turtles, Michelangelo was set into the same clamshell packaging that was reminiscent of like the stuff I would find at Kmart. It's like, oh man, because you need to get that out of your system. And I'm pretty sure you're the same way. Like you want to 100%.
And it's actually been fun messing with packaging because I'm not, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm learning, and I'm never gonna say that I'm a packaging artist, but I have had fun messing with it. And I started looking at like import boxes and how they work with negative space, especially on the left and right. Yeah. And I started cutting the side into the actual key art, just to give you a little bit of that side of the figure without it getting lost. Right. And I also teased a character on the right side, which if you follow his art, you'll go directly to it. If you know, you know. But yeah, this was also cool because again, me not knowing any better, I hit him up. This guy has a pretty good following. He's been doing stuff for Bottleneck now, so he's pretty well established. And I'm like, hey, would you be cool if I used your actual illustration as key art in the box? And he said yes. And I'm like, all right then.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think
it's great, man. I love that you're doing this and getting, capturing people's attention. I think in this day and age, there might be a toy producer who is just like, yeah, why don't we do that? And somebody who has access to the license to actually do it. Or as we kind of established, I think before you jumped on, Brandon, there's a healthy community of unlicensed manufacturers out there, which I know you're professionals. So, of course, like you've got your things. However, it's 2025 and there are these people who have access to producing on a high level toys that sometimes we would assume could never, ever be made.
Man.
But I'll leave that there. This is great stuff, Sebastian, and I know you shared some of this stuff, but it was even better to have you hold it up and sort of see it. But these pictures will be there if folks haven't caught that at the bottom. There's that URL that keeps swooshing across the screen, and then the QR code will take you to that. So we'll have the links and everything. But it's so cool to see this on your shelf with other toys,
with other maybe Mondo toys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I do have a quick question, Sebastian. The 3D, the all-around shot that you did of the Nightwing on IG, what sort of rig? Like, how did you get that? Oh, is that the rig behind you right there that just kind of
and around? It's not. So the cool thing about it is that it has ball bearings, so it's not electric at all. So if you look at, I put it in one of my stories, but basically, you can tell it to go close and far or whatever. But once you set it up, you just go boom, and it just starts going, and then slowly, it's on my stories.
Oh, I don't think I can do it on the desktop.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, so it slowly eventually comes to a stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't see that.
That's so awesome. it has counterweights and all that stuff. That was a rig that I got from my old job, but then they laid me off, so I kept it.
Damn right.
We heard nothing. What are you talking about?
Oh, they're not watching. It's fine. And that is what I was dealing with at midnight last night. All those supports.
Yeah. Cool. Those supports look wild, man. Like weird
Brick,
vegetation.
if you go down a little bit, down, there's some nice reels of turtles.
You talking about these?
From
because you were
New
there.
Some crispy footage of Leo boy.
They look great, man. They're shout out to the Mondo team. I am, folks probably know, I'm not a 1/6 guy, and I don't have any business buying anything like this just because of space, but and money. But I live through Quip and everybody else who's gonna get these because I think these are great.
Quip, right? We're trying to unbox them together, right?
Yeah. So again, as a mint box collector, I'm still seeing. Now, I said I wasn't going to buy 2, but then you kind of said the thing about the packaging. I definitely know I'm keeping the packaging. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I've got a little time. I've got till December 2nd, right? It's open till December 2nd. I extended it a little bit to decide on if I want to take the money I have saved and, be a grown up and buy other, things, wardrobe. We always joke about holy underwear and about how it's like clothes are falling apart. But the toy collection is tip top.
Quip, you know better. We have to spell it HOLE-Y. We're not talking Mormon underwear or anything, but whole E underwear.
Holy underwear.
But still, it's kind of like I think I am gonna hold on to the money and roll it over to Leo, right? Just because if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready, and then I don't have to complain about, give me some time. It's like, nope, I'm preparing now. I'm making
didn't you
appropriate
like
adjustments.
Donnie with the glasses?
I do like Donnie with the glasses. I'm definitely gonna. So we're gonna open them, and that's kind of what Sebastian was getting at. Is I'm a mint and box collector, but these turtles. Like I have to open them. I have to do the different loadouts, different setups. And so we were talking about just kind of opening them up, talking about it, sharing the different things. How are we going to set up our own Donnies? That would just be a fun stream. But no, these toys, after having been a turtle fan like yourself, going way back to 87, like you collect turtles, you see them, and I felt like I was at that point in collecting. We talked a little bit about this when we first started, where I thought I was done. I thought I was done turtle collecting. I was like, you know what? I got all the turtles I need. It's fine. I got Pixel Dance art book because I was like, okay, that's going to be a space saver because it calls back to the Playmates line, but it's all in a nice, neat little package where I can admire them. And then these dropped, and I was just like, well, that whole planogram I had for my display, it just folded up out the window, and we're back at square one. I'm back, baby.
Congratulations to Mondo, to you, Brandon, and everybody else involved in this, because not only are you selling something that people are really excited about, you're getting a mint in box collector who thought he was done with turtles to buy more turtles and open them up. If you're familiar with Quip, it's a huge deal.
And thank you guys. Thank you for having me on and for nerding out as long as I have with the behind the scenes and man, it's just been great talking to you guys. So definitely have me on anytime you want so we can geek out together again.
Dude, maybe one day we can speak SWAT cats, maybe?
Ooh,
oh shit.
Need to.
He said, oh shit. Oh shit. SWAT cats.
Yeah, right. SWAT cats is happening. Yeah. I can't believe it. But yeah,
right on, Brandon.
Things develop with that for sure. We're gonna talk SWAT cats.
Yeah, we will definitely. I would love to have you back, man. We'll keep talking some other time. We're just gonna talk a little bit more about some other nostalgic and new things. I know you had limited time. If you need to go, do your thing.
I gotta cook dinner
for me and the handle it.
But thank you guys. Peace.
Right on, man.
Bye, dude. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Happy holidays. Yeah, thanks.
Take care, man.
Take care.
Later.
Love it, love it, love it. Good stuff, man. I'll get back to that while I fix this layout. But that was awesome. I know I wasn't expecting to be able to see all that stuff, which is really cool. So shout out to Brandon. All right, let me go ahead and bring us back. Let me add, because there's some other nostalgic. Well, here, hold on. Let me do this. Come on, Brick. You guys talk while I get this totally together. I don't want this guy up here. I want to share something. But real quick, Sebastian, I know as someone like you're a fan, you're a compatriot, you're an toy making compatriot, but I also can tell by the questions you're asking. You're like, man, I just want to soak in and ask them all these different questions. Where, we got to highlight some of your work and everything. Is there something that you like this sort of Ninja Turtles project that Brandon's gotten to work on? Is there like another property that you would love to see get the 1/6 treatment that you would love to work on? What would be your dream?
My dream.
Yeah. It's the thing Sebastian wants to work on at 1/6 in that same kind of, let's reimagine it kind of thing.
Let's just go with what I'm doing already. Let's go with Mighty Ducks, dude. Let's just lean right into it. You know what I mean? Actually, also Space Jam. Of course.
I was gonna say.
Of course. Dude, I was working on those. Last night because I was setting up the jerseys for printing. So they will be printed shortly, hopefully. But yeah, I think Space Jam 100% because that started putting me a little bit on the map. But yeah, I mean, I seem to be the Disney guy, I guess. Ryan Dole has, he says what does he say? The king of Disney sculpts or concepts or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. But I am working on something cool currently that I teased. I made it like it wasn't that cryptic, but I made a story that was completely black and I just played a soundtrack. And I don't know if people caught on to it, but it's a duck. I am working on a duck next.
And were you saying that the tease was real dark? It was like
I basically made a story
dangerous
that's just literally it's a black frame. There's nothing on it.
Sure. Sorry, I was trying to tease as well, but okay, gotcha.
Oh, sure. That. But I'm excited about what's coming up next because it's something that people have talked about for a while.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by. So to our earlier point about like the nostalgia.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will say just like I love the notion of like, hey, what if the film series had continued and and then they blended with some of the story points and plot points from the cartoons and the comics. What would that look like? So that's what I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around. Like, what would I love to see sort of get that same kind of story treatment and everything? And
and you're showing this, the Monstars, I believe, could have their own movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's enough there. There's enough origin with Moron Island, which I watched this movie when I was a kid in Chile, so I didn't know it was called Moron Island until like my 30s.
So what do they call it in the Chileno?
Yeah. I have no idea. I'd have to go back.
Okay.
I don't know if it's called like Stupido or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But also,
Isla Stupidas.
Well, it's a funny story because we don't get the voice actors that you guys get, right? We get dubbed. So I had no idea that the coach was Danny DeVito. No idea. And I love Danny DeVito. But yeah, this was the original collaboration, and this happened. He actually reached out to me, and he has got really cool work, really graphic work on his profile. And he said, "Hey, dude, I love Space Jam. Would love to work with you." And I said, "Let's do it." And then this was much more. I was hands off in this one. I think I was basically. I gave a couple of notes on like originally, are we doing a box? Are we doing a card back? What kind of thing? Mm-hmm. But he basically took it and ran with it. And as you can tell, he did his own version of the colors of the Monstars, which Quip and I talked about when it first released. But this was also brought up on that podcast that I was in because the host mentioned that he thought maybe this was a way of getting around getting in trouble. So there was like a slight, oh dude, my camera goofed.
Too fancy, man. My stream's only going 10 HD anyways.
100%.
So
no, I'm gonna fix that next. But he asked if this was a way of getting around making it look 100% like it so people don't get bothered. And I honestly said I just kind of let him do his thing. And I like that the package speaks first and then you go into the figure instead of the other way around. But yeah, this did pretty well on social media, and he's working on something else, which is not a Monstar. He may be working on Toon Squad member at this point.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I love that you're doing this kind of thing, man. Just putting it out there to kind of, because I think it ultimately will, I kind of made my comment earlier about the unlicensed thing, but even for the folks who do hold the licenses, it reminds them that, there are people who are genuinely interested in these things and we could potentially do something with them. So I think it's healthy. I think it's important to do this stuff.
And I would love for my stuff to get made, but honestly, that's really not why I started doing it. So if somebody wants to make it, give me a call. Talk to Quip. Quip has probably more weight than I do when it comes to the industry and all that. But I will happily keep doing this, right? Like just doing this stuff in the digital world, talking to people about it, because I get messages. I don't get a lot of messages, but I get some messages about people being like touched in some kind of way by seeing these things, because a lot of these things I think are people that maybe are not collectors. Maybe they're people like in their 30s that are working a regular job, and somehow this pops into their feed and they're like, oh crap, this made me think about Space Jam and I haven't thought about it in forever.
Yeah.
So I think there's like the hardcore people that really want this stuff to get made, like ourselves or Quip and I, and then there's the people that just kind of stumble upon this and they go, oh, that was nice, and then they go back to their life,
To that point though, this particular property has great marketability or crossover appeal with sneakerheads. I would imagine people that were, big fans of basketball, big fans like into collecting shoes, Jordans, whatever, that you see these, they can line these up on a wall easily. And just that having that much more appeal beyond your usual figure collectors. But no, this is great. I love
Ivan's
all
with
the
you.
stuff.
I mean, I would buy one of those oversized shoes that look exactly like the cartoon.
Oh my God, that would be freaking amazing. I'm not even a shoe head, but just the concept
I'd wear
of
it,
that.
but I would definitely have it.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. I know Quip's got a show on GDL in a little bit, but there are a couple of other things that I did want to quickly run through about this notion of nostalgia and the new. Some of it's kind of out there, but let's talk Mondo real quick. One little bit more about Mondo.
Oh boy.
Because man, when they get licenses, I really appreciate that they embrace the sort of spirit of it, as well as the spirit of the culture that's developed around like kaiju, Godzilla. We've gotten kaiju everything, Godzilla everything. Even when we were kids, like stuff coming out of Japan, it was just like the weirdest stuff would be Gojira branded or whatever. And so let me just say, Urban Aztec, ridiculous artist that I love. I grew up in LA, so like the Mexica stuff is sort of in the back of my head. So whenever I see it in pop culture, especially when you're merging kaiju with that, this stuff is dope. And I've been in love with their take on the kaiju through the Urban Aztec lens since they've been doing it. So can't afford to buy it, can't afford the space, but I admire it from afar. This is like definitely taking something nostalgic and blending it with something new and different.
Yes. And what's interesting is, so I was never too big into kaiju, but when you talk about nostalgia, so growing up in San Diego, I've got an appreciation for Mexican history, being so close, like in Southern California. And I mean, even SDSU, aren't they the Aztecs, if I remember correctly? But we learned
they were, and they also have Montezuma Hall. But anyways, that's an aside. That's bringing me back. Keep going.
Yeah, but just that art, or like that, learning the history as a kid growing up in San Diego, and then also learning Mesoamerican history, and then also seeing it in the street art, where that's really where Urban Aztec is hitting me in the feels for nostalgia.
I mean, you just described Urban Aztec and sort of where his work came from, but for sure,
Dude, is that the back or the front? Because I've never seen the shop before.
This is the back, dude. So on the, like they have like the death's head moth kind of thing, but this is like his take on it with that skull, which is killer. Love this stuff. Oh man, look at that. So shout out to Hector who was working on the paints. I think that's what this is. I think if I remember reading that, he painted these. Dope. And here's the rest of the stuff. I don't know how familiar folks are on this, but
King Ghidorah is
I really wanted that jolly green one, the translucent one.
Where is it? If you scroll down a little more, actually, was that a Decon exclusive?
It
that
was.
might not be listed here. That might be.
Yeah.
You might have to go to the Decon.
Yeah, I don't think. I
don't
know.
He's there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, right
this
there
one?
to the left.
Oh,
yeah. They showed it.
I
on
thought it was a
Toy
green Ghidorah. Got it.
It just looked so good.
Yeah, this stuff is
when
cool.
you see translucent toys, it's just like, what flavor is it? Like,
I just want to bite it.
Looks like candy. You just want to chew on the head of it, just like you used to your toys. But
the art, the translation of this, again, blending the old with sort of the new takes. I love it. He also did a Batman thing back in the day with like a real looking bat, but
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Dope. And shout out to the One Piece. I'm seeing that conversation happening in the background. Yes, the NBA Luffy is dope. Okay. A little bit of something different, because I don't like throwing things on the thumbnail and then not covering them, because I feel like a buster. But can I just say, monking art.
Johnny Bravo.
Monking, man. Monking stuff is dope. And I featured a bunch of it here before. But in particular, this was a newer one that came up. And what a talk about taking the awesome. Working on our nostalgia, like, oh, Dexter's Lab, I remember that. But then this is obviously not at all what Dexter's Lab looked like. Right. This is very much Monking's aesthetic of sort of like pseudo-realistic take, using whatever bodies he can to make these awesome customs, man. This is such a cool Dexter.
Is that Robin that they used?
The body, the one from Dark Knight?
Yeah, the head. Yeah, the Dark Knight Robin. Yeah, I didn't know.
I'm not sure what this started.
Often, the hair or,
oftentimes the heads are like custom printed.
Okay.
It's more of the body that they take, but
cool.
I'm not totally sure. But everything about this, like, this is my jam. This is like taking the stuff we're familiar with, applying a new aesthetic, and it could totally like work on my shelf, like this could work with a Horseman figure or an AWOC.
It fits into Brick's world of sword sorcery.
Yeah, kind of
sci-fi. Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, no, I know that you're like, okay, this is my idea of a thing, right? Is this too far for you? What's
Bro,
your take?
I am of the mindset, whatever floats your boat and finds your lost remote, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like, you spending your money doesn't come out of my account, right?
No, I meant for you though. Like, what's your when you see something like this? Yeah.
No, this is awesome. So these are those things that I enjoy vicariously through other people in the collecting community, really picking up on them. But I just enjoy the artistry, the taking something that already exists, kind of reworking it, tweaking it in order to evoke nostalgia in fellow collectors. I love this. Like when you went to this page, so one, I need to start following Monking on IG, because I hadn't followed him. I didn't know this creator. But what immediately caught my eye and hit me in the feels was that Meteor Man.
Yes.
Like as soon as I saw that, I was like, what? Just so. One, love Dexter's Laboratory. This is really cool. But the fact that he could do that he could get that reaction on me, of just exciting people with creating art that they like, and just getting other people excited about what they're clearly excited about. This is where the passion, the love shines through, as Sebastian was sharing. He wasn't creating the toys as a pitch to angle and try and get something. It was a passion project, right?
Yeah.
Going way back to Bobby and Powerline, like, it's a passion project that, because you were passionate about it, you put all of that love manifest itself into what it was you were creating. Other people pick up on those vibes, and then they just take it from there. But here, I love it. I love that that just art as a whole can inspire other people to do things, because if you see it done, then you're motivated to get it done, right? Whether it's the custom packaging, the 3D printing, going from 3D concepts to 3D printing, but even just here, the customization. You said that he does his own 3D printing kind of creation of the head sculpts, dialing in those skill sets, right? Everybody starts somewhere. So just get started, right? You don't have to be afraid of it being perfect. Just create something.
Yep. I love this stuff, and I also had the this guy in the queue. There's a couple I just want to show really quickly because I know there is a GDL coming up. Not that it's going to sit on time or anything, but here's Meteor Man.
Love it. It's awesome.
And you know, I know a lot of folks are kind of like, oh man, but I love whatever. I love the movie look, or I love the Dexter's Lab. But I think comic books trained me because, you know, I'd be really into an artist, and then every couple of weeks or every month, then we get a new artist. So I was just kind of okay with it. But I love these. Love to see different artists do their different takes on stuff.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I don't see why anybody would complain about this Meteor Man. One, there is no mass-produced toy of Meteor Man. Like, I remember they had a little Bendums of Meteor Man because I had that when I was a kid. Like, that's the only Meteor Man toy that I had as a kid. So loving that movie, seeing this, actually recently trying to hunt down a version of it on Blu-ray, which apparently it's about to drop in the next couple months. Like, if you go to order it online, like there's a pre-order for the Blu-ray where they did a really limited run. If you look up the aftermarket on a Blu-ray right now for Meteor Man, it's stupid expensive. It's like $120 just because of it's such a limited run.
Oh my gosh, DVD that's wild.
But they're about to redrop.
Oh, look at that.
So.
That is awesome.
Who's that?
So this is his take on 2011 Panthro. I was hoping we get to it to show show Brandon, because Brandon did his own concept on this, but again, a different artist doing a different take on what a 2011 Panthro might look like. It's very different. It's really out there. But this is kind of like my, you know, like when they're adapting something into a live action movie, I'm always curious to see how it translates. Sorry, Sebastian, you were going to say something?
No, I think it reads well as Panthro. I think he went very saturated, right? Like he went for this dude is blue, which is a choice, but it definitely reads as Panthro.
Yeah. And you just shared you're sharing Zio Adams' comment. He dropped some really cool, like he shares some of his custom figures in the toymakers Discord, and again, just really cool stuff. So,
dude, he Zio's a beast. Oh man, I fell in love with his Warhammer stuff and his use of color. But here's the Panther, and one more monking, and then we'll move on to another creator that I wanted to talk about before we break. Here's the Samurai Jack. And I know a lot of folks are looking for actual Samurai Jack. I totally get it. But
Mezco 5 Points is doing
Mezco's doing it.
Yep.
So the thing I love about an artist's interpretation of it is it's that artist's interpretation. Going back to what we were saying, if we love an artist's art style and then that artist decides to explore an IP that we're fans of, fantastic. If you are I want figures from the cartoon, that's cool. You don't have to poo-poo this. Go get the other figures from the cartoon. Like this doesn't detract from anything. This only contributes.
This is also far enough removed from Samurai Jack that it's not even like unlicensed. You know, you could buy it as its own thing and it'll be fine. It's almost like what people do with the Legions, right? Like they do all these kinds of customs. This is just a cool guy that happens to look like another cool guy. He's just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah, and for me, it's just, you know, I'm kind of curating this thing going on my shelf. So the idea that I could get Samurai Jack representation, but it could still blend with the Horseman figure or Masterverse figure, that's like exciting to me. But speaking of which, I didn't know I needed this. I watched Being Eddie. If you haven't watched it, check it out on Netflix. Eddie Murphy is hilarious. But who knew that I would actually like, oh yeah, you know what? I think I need an Eddie Murphy from Delirious on my shelf. No, but this is cool. This is very DeWorkaholic, aka G.I. Joe Customs. He does some amazing custom work as well. And he works with a bunch of different base figures, often working with McFarlane figures. And you're always like, damn, how did he get a McFarlane to do that? But this thing's sick. Just weird,
how
different.
The hands are painted. Like his hands still have paint on them.
Yep. So good. Awesome. I mean, the talent that's out there. But again, this idea of like, I'm nostalgic for Eddie Murphy, and I was reminded by the documentary. Then all of a sudden he's coming with this, hey, what if he could hang out with your classified figures?
It's just a cool concept. And this also lends itself to, now I'm wanting to see the purple suit from Raw. I'm wanting to see. Let me think. Oh, Golden Child, right?
Hell
Eddie
yes.
Murphy. And one thing I have said, so Mondo Donatello definitely beat this other line to the punch. But the hole in my collection that I want to see, and hey, as I was just talking about, if nobody's doing it, look around. You do it, right? Beverly Hills Cop figures. I've seen some good customs.
I was just going to say that, and Alan's right there with you.
Yeah, just wanting an Axel Foley and a good Axel Foley from each of the iterations. Yes, I like Beverly Hills Cop 3. Fight me. But I like it because it came out. That's the first one that I saw in theaters. Like I saw
really?
1 and 2.
Okay.
But the third one, as a kid watching it, being able to enjoy it, sure there were other elements, but the kiddie elements made it fun and drew me more into the world at that point. And I'm a fan of Beverly Hills Cop 4 that was even on Netflix. So yeah, just wanted to see some Axel Foley figures. That'd be fantastic. I'll take some Paul Reisers too.
I will just, the nostalgia thing is fun. At the end of the day, when I look at just toy collecting in general, to me, it's a nostalgic exercise. Like I was collecting toys as a kid. I grew up with toys, and these little sort of plastic avatars of like properties that I love were in my hands, and I could, so the idea that I'm still collecting toys in my 40s or almost 50s, that's a nostalgic act in and of itself. So for the folks who wonder about the way I collect, yeah, of course, nostalgia is still there. But as we've kind of talked about, man, I'm into the new Animal Wars of the Kingdom. Come on now, it's a great story. Y'all should check it out. Mythic Legions, awesome stuff. You should check it out. Brutal Realm. So I'm all about that. I think there's space for all of it. And I gotta say, like folks like you, Sebastian, Brandon, and all these other folks who are making this stuff, like, thank you, because you're bringing like that, I kept saying like, this is the stuff, this is what toys look like in my brain. You guys are actually pulling that out of your brains and like putting it into the real world. So keep doing your thing, man. We're all watching. We even the concept stuff, I'm all about it, man. It just, like you said, regardless if it gets made, I can't buy it all anyways. So I'm happy to just window shop sometimes.
Yeah, I think at this point, I'll just get some people addresses and just kind of just start sending these guys over. Just like,
here you go. Send them over to people. Yeah.
It'll be like a really fancy business card, just be like, hey, here's what I can do. Go.
I love it, man.
No, but I appreciate you guys. And yeah, it's become a really nice, the hobby has transitioned me into being more of a creator, and I've been around 3D for a minute, but it has never been as fulfilling as it has been now. And I've done some stuff for theme parks with Disney and different things like that, but this is definitely, for the first time, it's my own thing. And obviously my own thing has translated into working with other people's things as well, which is great. But I love the community. I love connecting with people and reaching out to people and saying like, hey, I like your art. Can we art together? Because it feels a little bit like what I never had in high school, right? Like in high school, I just wanted to just work with a bunch of dudes and do art together. But now I'm 37, I'm going into 38. It's almost like I'm in high school all over again, but like better,
And you're smarter, I'm sure. Yeah, no, totally. You can 100%. Appreciate it, and yeah, you can direct it a little bit more.
And I'm also talking to people better, right? Because if I'm trying to build relationships and I'm trying not to burn bridges, high school me probably would have been too good at that. I'm a little bit better. Not that I'm really good at it, but I'm a little bit better.
Love it. Yeah. So what do you guys got next? Let's go ahead and get out of here. I mean, literally, Quip, what do you have in about 11 minutes plus?
In about 11 minutes, you can join us on Geek.Dad.Life on YouTube. That's the name of the channel, Geek.Dad.Life. And we're doing Geek.Dad.Live, where today's topic, the primary topic that we're talking about, is going to be N.Art's 1/6, The Dark Knight Rises, Catwoman, and some of the great stuff that they're doing over there. As many people have already alluded to, we're at this place where the coolest stuff is coming from smaller companies, like indie companies, or companies that, it's not the big names. It's not your Mattels or your Hasbros, which they're still doing fun stuff. Yeah, so we're just gonna be talking toys. It's gonna be fun, and that starts in 10 minutes now over
it does.
Geek.Dad.Life.
I'm sorry, dude, you're gonna be tired.
It's fine. I'm just gonna.
I was like, we thought we were gonna have an hour break, but here we go. Here we are. What about you, Sebastian? People should keep watching that handle there, and anything else. You mentioned the website. I need to get hip to the website as well. What's the website?
Yeah, so the website is my full name 3d.com, but there's that's more of my I guess not toy stuff. So if you're curious about that, go check that out. But all my current stuff, all the stuff that I'm really excited about, lives in my Instagram, which is that tag Sebastian Gómez Toys. And reach out if you want. I like talking to people about nerdy stuff or art stuff, whatever, everything in between. And I've actually, with this last run of concepts, I've been reached out with some people that are interested in working together and creating actual things. So we'll see where that goes. But just to have those conversations, it's really cool.
That's awesome, man.
So I'll be watching Geek.Life. I try to catch your stuff, Brick, as soon as you post, and I appreciate you having us back. I'm glad we were able to get like an A-lister in here, because that's not easy to do.
Yeah, Quip. Thank you, A-lister. Oh, you meant Brandon.
No, definitely Brandon.
For sure. And you know what? We gotta figure out, like, whenever we can do it, let's talk. It's fun to talk and geek out.
So
we'll figure
the
something out.
The replay squad, definitely hit up the comments. Let Brick know that this was an episode that not every episode is great, but this felt like an addition to those toy talks, which I enjoy very much. So
I appreciate that, man. On the channel, look out for some shorts. I had a lot of fun with this guy. Talk about new toys, Mythic Legions, man. So just look out for some shorts, and then next Sunday, I'll be here again. Hopefully, the plan is to talk Odious, because there's an awesome Kickstarter folks need to know about, Unparalleled Universe. Our sort of second shot at getting more Odious variants. We're going to get a cowboy, and we're going to get cowboy and the soldier. That comes with two awesome werewolf heads. And selfishly, please buy those so that I can get my Ronin and my Inuit. So let's go, folks. We got to push that. Come back next Sunday. I believe that's happening. So thank you, guys. We'll figure it out. Let's talk again. Go watch Geek.Dad.Life in a little bit. Go follow these guys. And I'm supposed to end it now. And see, I'm never ready for it. But here's the music. So do your last wave goodbyes. Bye, everybody. Music, blah, blah, blah. Wait, no, that's not music. Here it is. Bye. Thanks, guys. Everybody else, shout out to the Wampanoag. I'm ending the stream now. Bye-bye.